It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
And here we go. Welcome back in to another edition of Rothman and Ice. I'm Matty Ice on the board doing his thing. Per usual is TLC. And to my right today, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by the one and only Dylan Tyre DT. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back in, my guy. How are you feeling today?
I actually feel amazing. Like, I am fired up to be with you. First and foremost, I love doing this with you. I love our chats, but you really got me going before we hopped on the air. We were talking a little bit of football here. Like, I know we've got a big college football show today, but man, oh man, I am fired up. Like, the itch is officially here. Yeah. I've had it for a couple of weeks, but you know, I've watched a little preseason. We've got meaningful college football coming up this weekend, and then we've got the real thing after that. I am very excited.
It's time to crank the energy up.
Yeah.
Because this is the most wonderful time of year. Look, I love Christmas, but we can play that song right now, and for me, it would work. Because everything that's starting as you laid out, beginning with week 0 on Saturday, in a pretty big-time matchup if you're a Big 12 fan, Kansas State, Iowa State, two teams that could be contenders. That could be a fun one, and then we're just downhill in a good way all the way to the Super Bowl, college football playoff, and all of that good stuff. As always, folks, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate you. Our lineup for today, bottom of this hour, Rocky Boyman covers college football for ESPN, used to play at Notre Dame. He's down there in Cincinnati, so we can combo some college football with him. Maybe get his thoughts on what the Bengals looked like last night. We will talk about that here in mere moments. 1:30, ladies and gentlemen. The voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, is going to stop by to talk about the upcoming season, what last season was like for him. So listen, we got one of the GOATs stopping by to give us some of his time, so don't miss that at 1:30. And then 2:30, Joe DeLeon covers the NFL draft, top prospects around college football we will be watching. He covers that very well over at A to Z Sports. If you miss anything we do from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. All you have to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. We got a giveaway today. We got a nice giveaway today, DT.
Ooh.
Lock in for this. If you think you know sports trivia, here's your shot to score tickets to Ohio State and Texas. Winner will get 2 passes to participate in the Big Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest Friday, August 29th at the O on Lane. If you don't win, there's no problem. You can grab passes at 971thefan.com. And so we, AR, myself, all the other boys in the gang will be at the O on Lane next Friday doing our shows. There will be a trivia contest that happens at 1 p.m. And if you win that trivia contest, you will get tickets to Ohio State and Texas. And so trivia will start at 1. You have to get there by 12:30 to check in. So stick with us throughout the show. And we have a little trivia question we usually do for our prizes. If you get that correct, you will get a chance to go over to the O on Lane next Friday, the 29th, to participate in the Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest. And again, a chance to win tickets to Longhorns and Buckeyes. DT, doesn't get much bigger than that.
Can I show up? Like, I want to do a little trivia. I want to get in there. I want to get into the game.
I'm not good at trivia, by the way.
I'm pretty good. I don't know when it comes to some of the stuff you guys will be asking. I'm not sure. But when it comes to, like, the general kind of Jeopardy stuff, I'm pretty solid. Sports Jeopardy, I really like.
Yeah, anything outside of sports is where it gets dicey for me. Like, there are just random nuggets that I know. Like, the first Jurassic Park was made in 1993. The first peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I believe, was created in 1901.
Oh, you're
like, there are just weird things that I have floating in my brain. Outside of that, DT, I got to phone a friend because there's not too much, especially like movie stuff. That gets dicey for me. But trivia, the gang and I, my friends and I, we used to do that like years ago, like every Tuesday or something like that. And I was always the weakest link.
Really?
Oh, I was that guy. But at least I would show up.
You're only as good as that weakest link. Like, I know how that goes sometimes. It's tough. It's tough, but I like that stuff that, the peanut butter jelly fan. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I read that years and years ago, and for whatever reason, it just stuck with me. You know how that is. Like, you watch certain things, you see certain things, and they're just always in your brain. And those two things are just always right there for me.
Well,
Weird.
Speaking of trivia, I think the thing that really has me fired up for football is I was actually on TikTok over the weekend on Sunday.
Okay.
And there was kind of a trivia-esque video that came up where it was every NFL theme song for, each network. You had the Fox, the CBS, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, etc. And they would play the song. You had to match it to the network. And I was like, that is really what got me fired up. I was hearing the songs. I was oh, baby.
Did you crush that?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I got that easy.
Yeah, we're big on that on this show. Like, it's a tone setter for a network. When we hear your music.
There's something about it.
There's something about it that I absolutely enjoy. Before we get into some ball, Bengals reaction from last night, and everything else happening around the sports world, just another thank you to the folks at Little Turtle Golf Club for hosting our show yesterday. Our guy AR had his golf outing, which was tremendous, and I know he put so much work into that, so I was glad to see, from my perspective at least, how smoothly that ran and how much people were enjoying their time. So thanks to AR, the folks at Homeless to Home, and again, the folks at Little Turtle Golf Club for hosting us yesterday. Devere and I were out there with the gang from the Fan, and man, had a really good time out there. DT, have you played Little Turtle out there before?
No, I actually haven't played Little Turtle before. I got to get out there with AR sometime. I know I've talked with him about it, but I'm a big golfer. I love getting out there. I always walk when I play, a little bit of exercise, feel the course, that sort of thing. I'll actually be playing later today, but never Little Turtle. And I listened to you guys yesterday from out there, and you had me fired up talking about Caleb Williams, but you guys sounded good. You sounded good.
That.
There's something about Devere's voice that I just love listening. It's soothing.
It really is. It's like he's like a therapist, right? Yes. Like he'll bring you in, put you on the couch, and just, talk about your problems, and he'll talk you through those problems. So, yeah, shout out to Depot, man. We love him around these parts. Real quick, speaking of golf, over the weekend, when Scotty Scheffler does it again and runs down the field the way that he did, and then the chip shot on 16 or 17, whatever that was, this guy's just magical. He is this era's Tiger Woods. Now, will he reach those accomplishments and get to that type of resume? We shall see. But all it is utter dominance. And guys know that really nothing's safe. If he's within, a handful of shots, Scotty Scheffler's in your rearview mirror, and you could have some problems. Yeah, he's just he's special to say the least, man. This guy just every single year now just continues to impress and just do crazy stuff out there on the course.
It was so funny. I actually got a text on Sunday. One of my buddies, he goes, "Do I bet Scotty 3 shots down?" And I was going to respond, absolutely. And I get a text, 5 seconds later, goes, "Oh, wait, never mind. He's tied for first place." It's inevitable. He is so, man, it's a run of dominance, unlike a lot of things we've seen before. Like, you see some of these tweets or posts or whatever talking about, Scotty's one of 4 guys to win X amount of tournaments over a 2-year span. The others are guys like Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. It is very special stuff, and it has me excited for the future because it feels like he's just kind of peaking right now. How many more years of this are we going to see? I don't see anybody catching him for the foreseeable.
I don't, and if he's healthy, he's going to, I think, continue to do a lot of what we've seen, which is just absolutely dominate the field. Last night, Bengals out in Washington taking on the Commanders. Just always want to throw this out there. Don't want to ever freak out too much about what we see in the preseason, but I will say this. If I were a Bengal fan, that defense, not feeling good. Not feeling good about it. Starting unit was out there. They allowed a 4-play, 74-yard touchdown drive. And look, I get it. This is only the second preseason game, and right now they can hide behind, it's only the preseason. We haven't really thrown out everything we're going to do in the regular season with a new defensive coordinator. There are moving pieces. I totally understand that. But that was a unit last year that ranked 25th in the league in opponents per game as far as opponents' yards per game in total. And so, DT, it looks like it's going to be another uphill climb. They were not good last year with getting teams off the field. They ranked in the bottom 5 in third down defense. And so that's going to be an experiment. On offense, we know they got the goods there. But if this is going to be a legit Super Bowl contender, the resistance on the defensive side of the ball needs to show up sooner rather than later, or we're going to be talking about a similar season to what we watched in 2024.
It's definitely concerning. I will say I'm high on the Bengals this year. Like, I just have faith in Joe Burrow and the offense in, hey, maybe we need to take it up another notch. I think they can do it for whatever reason, just because they have those weapons, and Joe Burrow is a flat-out dog. I don't think there's any other way to put it. The defense is a serious concern, though, but I think some comments from Joe Burrow about Trey Hendrickson have me feeling a little bit better. Like, I feel like Trey Hendrickson is going to get done. Joe just talked about it in a way that he didn't seem panicked. You know, he kind of pointed to past trends that, you know, he got a deal done late in the offseason. Jamar in the past has gotten a deal done late in the offseason, right before the start of the regular season. So I think there is some hope there and faith there within the team that Trey Hendrickson gets done, but he needs to get done.
I know, and I completely agree. And I know at some point yesterday, Trey Hendrickson talked to Laura Rutledge from ESPN, and he mentioned to her what she mentioned on the air, that the issue is just the guaranteed money, that both sides feel good about the average annual salary and that dollar figure per year. But it just feels and reads to me that beyond 2025 or 2026, the Bengals don't want to go past that mark with guaranteed money. And a guy that's 30, 31 years old, I understand it. I'm kind of in the headspace where it's like, you've already gone this far financially. Go ahead and pay this guy. Yes, it is a bit of a risk, but he's so important to what this team is and what they will be in the future that I wouldn't mind slightly overpaying in guarantees if I were the Bengals, just to have this guy in-house. That way he can provide some type of balance for our squad.
I just don't think you're ever going to get it done with 1 year of guaranteed money, right? It's simply going to take more than that. There's no point for the player in signing for 1 year of guaranteed money. They are going to get there. I think they are going to get there because, frankly, the Bengals have to, right? You have to wise up to this and realize that you need this guy. And, you know, I know they're high on Shamar Turner and all this stuff too, but you got to have your guy off the edge in Trey Hendrickson if you want to have any chance.
He's the difference maker on that D-line. There's no doubt about that. Coming up, we know how Ryan Day feels about Julian Sayin, but what about Steve Sarkisian, the other head coach that will be cooking in the shoe next Saturday? You'll hear from him next on Ohio State's new starting quarterback. It's Rothman Ice right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in OHIO. But the greatest players and coaches of all time live in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter if you spend your Sundays yelling "Hoo Day" or barking like a dog from your seats in the pound. A trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame should be on every fan's bucket list. Plan your trip at ProFootballHof.com. The Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion, relive the glory.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. It's the last month for the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. That means you get special APRs with 3.99% up to 60 months on their most popular models. Lease payments as low as $419 per month. Also, plenty of pre-owned L-certified vehicles are on the lot with rates as low as 5.75% for up to 27 months. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, jermainelexus.com.
Hey, Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions. And yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Buckeye Roundtable returns Monday, August 25th. Join Paul Keels, Jim Lachey, and Skip Mossick as they break down every aspect of Ohio State football. Oh, and a guy named Ryan Day calls in.
Presented by Burger King.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, you might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heat and humidity, the center of our forecast today. This afternoon into the low 90s. However, we'll also see chances of showers and thunderstorms, some which could have heavy downpours and gusty winds. We'll see daytime highs in the low 90s, and then for tonight, overnight lows down into the 70s, with chances of showers and storms diminishing overnight. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's hidden talent is weaving a movie quote into every conversation. It's mostly not annoying. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
That you are. Welcome back in. Dylan Tyre in the house today for our guy, AR, bottom of the hour. We'll talk all things college football with Rocky Boyman from ESPN, former Golden Domer down there in the Natty doing some good work. So don't miss that. Another reminder, 1:30 today, the great Paul Keels will stop by, talk all things Buckeyes with him. TLC, how you feeling today, my guy? You good over there?
Oh, I am all good.
What's going on in your world? Did you miss us yesterday? Or did you enjoy having the studio to yourself?
Well, it depends. You know, for me, and not to get into too much of the job talking behind the scenes, when you guys go on remote, it is either the hardest day in the world or the easiest day in the world. Yesterday was hard. Was it anything DeVere and I did that made it hard for you? Okay, it was it's solely based on technology and what's cooperating and what's not. Okay. Again, not the most interesting thing, but yesterday the first hour was hard. The final two were easy. Because then it's just kicking back listening to you guys.
Well, you know what? Hopefully we entertained you.
I'm telling you, though, it is feeling like football season. I told you, when Milton and Buford were on TV and it looked legit, I was watching some high school football down in Georgia.
I watched that game the other day, too. Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm ready for this.
It's time to go.
It's like these games count.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they got some dudes down there, man. That Georgia high school football, Texas high school football.
Dayton Raiola.
Legit. Is that his little bro?
Yeah.
Left-hander, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Playing quarterback? Okay.
Also going to Nebraska.
Okay.
But, a 3-star recruit, so a little bit different.
It was a sloppy game. A lot of penalties, man. A lot of penalties.
Hey, it's still week 1 for the refs, too.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, I've been saying, DT, when we get to Ohio State and Texas next Saturday, I won't be surprised if there's some of that going on for both teams. I mean, just game number 1, like the selling point, obviously, just the brands, how good they are. But this is just week 1 with a lot of new for both parties. And so one of the big new pieces, as we all know, is Julian Sayin. Coach Dave makes that announcement yesterday. But, yeah, if the first couple quarters aren't sexy, that's not going to surprise me. Like, these guys got to figure it out on the fly. You're talking about figuring it out against elite programs on each side.
Well, it comes to, the product on the field that you're talking about as well. And we talked about the officiating. I always feel like the officials have to set the tone early in the season, right? Like, you remember that a few years ago with it was the false starts in the Chiefs game, or last year it was lining up behind this, with the tackles did not have their helmets on the belt line of the center. That was a huge one early in the season. So I'll be curious to see if we see that in college football at all or the NFL, but it is an excellent test for Ohio State starting off against Texas, and Julian Sayin obviously is going to be thrown right into the fire, but I love that, right? You're going to see what he is right away. And, I thought it was pretty telling that Ryan Day said they have faith in Lincoln Kienholz to play that game too. Like, it's not, of course, Julian Sayin wins the battle, and I'll say wins the battle for now. You never know if that's going to open back up depending on how he plays during the regular season, but I do think it was telling that Ryan Day said they feel confident enough in Lincoln Kienholz. Yeah. If he had to start that game, they wouldn't feel bad starting him, which I think says a lot about Julian Sayin and the way that he's playing right now. And, I think Day talked about the ball security as a big reason that Julian Sayin has won the battle and won that job for now. And, that is going to be key in that game, that ball security. But remember, I know Ohio State has some changes, but Texas, there are a lot of changes on that roster and to their starting 11 on each side of the ball too. So I am very curious to see how Ohio State looks at that game and how they come out.
Steve Sarkisian's a head coach right now that's done some really good things down there in Austin, right? I mean, that was a program I remember for years. Is this the year Texas is back? Is this finally the year? Well, they've been back now for a while, and he has been the reason why. I mean, he's bounced around the sport for a long time, right? Learned a lot at Alabama under Nick Saban, had his time as head coaches at other stops as well. But I think the security that he has brought that program has been really strong. And when Texas is really good, I think it's really good for college football. When you see that brand and they're in the mix at the top, right? Not just kind of getting by and going to a pretty good bowl game. When Texas is a contender, it's great for college football in the same way where, to me, Miami is and Florida State. And you have these programs that in the 80s and 90s and in the early 2000s were doing their thing. Now Texas is a part of that. And so when you have two teams that are really, really locked in the way Ohio State and Texas are, and then you go from that to where these two teams just got done playing in a very meaningful game in the college football playoff, and how dramatic that game was, and the Jack Sawyer, strip and scoop and run down the sideline to a touchdown. All of that is just awesome, and I cannot wait to see what we get next Saturday over at the Shoe. Steve Sarkisian was asked about Julian Sayin when they found out down in Austin that Julian will be the guy, and here's Sark talking about Julian.
A ton of respect for Julian. We recruited him hard here. He was a very gifted passer, really good player. Came to camp with us, I want to say 2 years in a row. And so we got a lot of familiarity with him. He's obviously a California kid, his high school coach and whatnot. So very good player, elite passer, very good arm talent, very quick release, really accurate guy. Obviously, he's got great weapons around him. And so, he's the type of guy that can utilize those weapons in a good system. So it poses a heck of a challenge.
You heard him mention in that clip 2 or 3 times the arm talent that Julian has. That's from the outside looking in. He knows him a little bit based off of what he did with the camps and recruiting and all that. But the same thing has been said in our neck of the woods from coaches, players, former players, people that have gone over there to watch these practices, is that when you watch Julian Sayin spin the rock, it's special, special stuff. And I think when you have that skill set, with the guys that you have around him as pass catchers, you want to lean into that as much as possible. And that's not to say that Lincoln can't do similar things with his arm, but it's been really jumping out to me, Dylan, that the people that have watched him and known him for years and watch him on the daily now are saying that this dude is the truth, right? Like, we watch NFL games. For me, when you watch a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, when he was at his peak, like the arm talent is just different than a lot of guys in the NFL, and that may be the case for Julian starting next Saturday.
Yeah, so what you hear about Sayin, right, is that he has such an electric release. He is an easy thrower of the football. And that is what is so intriguing for me going into not just this Texas game, but going into this Ohio State season. You have a guy that is an extremely highly touted recruit. It is interesting because there's not a lot of footage of him out there, right? Because he hasn't played in college outside of the Ohio State spring game. You're mostly looking at some highlights from the spring game and then the stuff you see from high school when he was in Calabasas in California. It is intriguing because there was a battle, right? It wasn't just Julian Sayin's job. There's been this battle. So I think with there being a battle in quotes, there's always maybe a sense of hesitancy that, we're not sure how good this guy is. But he is a massive recruit, and the way that you're talking about him or the way that you've heard him talked about by people in this area, coaches at Ohio State, other media members that watch practice at Ohio State, is that this guy could be one of the true great Ohio State quarterbacks based off of his throwing ability, the talent that they see right now. That, to me, is so intriguing because there's kind of discourse, right? Like, is this guy actually good? We're not sure because there is a quarterback battle. Yeah. But I'm excited to see what it looks like on the field with this receiving core, the Max Clairs of the world, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Brandon Innes, etc. If this guy really is the truth, think about the quarterbacks that have been here. Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, those guys that are, tremendous throwers of the ball at Ohio State. The guys now that have really succeeded in the NFL, whether it is a guy like C.J. Stroud. And could this guy be the very best? It remains to be seen, but the way he's talked about it, it certainly sounds like that.
No doubt, right? And last year, you had the combination of a very potent run game with Travion and Quinshawn combined with an elite aerial attack with Jeremiah, Emeka, and that crew. Let's say you don't have as sharp of a punch with the run game this year. If Julian Sayin is that dude with his arm that can help out the running backs because they're going to have to back off anyway. They're going to be doing some of that because of Jeremiah and Carnell anyway. But if defensive coordinators are going into this week like, man, this guy can stress us out with his arm at every level of the field and from sideline to sideline make every single throw, then if you're C.J. Donaldson, you're James Peoples, then you're looking at lighter boxes to run into, which I think can be impactful. The only thing that we don't know is how he is going to handle when there's static around him, right? And when things don't go right. That's the one thing outside of the physical traits that we really don't know about Julian Sayin. I don't know if you're a Game of Thrones guy, if you were into that. Like, for me, can he have or will he have a Jon Snow Battle of the Bastards moment? You know the scene where Jon's standing there with the knife in his hand and just everything's coming at him? When you're Julian Sayin, when that linebacker's running right through your offensive line and coming to knock your face off, are you a quarterback that's going to stand in there and deliver, or are you going to bail out of there and not want to deal with some of the pressure and the hits that are going to come along with it? My bet is he's going to lock in and do all of those things that are required from a quarterback. But that's going to be so fun to see. Not only Julian next Saturday, but what the heck is really Arch Manning? What does he really got?
Truly.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody's crowning this guy, and I get it to a certain degree, but he's got to deal with a lot of new as well. But more than new, he's got to deal with some dudes on the defensive side of the ball for Ohio State that are going to be ready to make a name for themselves starting next Saturday.
Well, that is what is so special about this college football season to me, just across the board. Are there any proven entities, especially at the quarterback position? I'm not sure. Cade Klubnik is the guy that's been crowned as maybe the All-American preseason by all these different outlets, but it's kind of a prove-it thing for him. The same goes for Garrett Nussmeier, who's kind of the second-team All-American going into all this. Drew Aller at Penn State, people have talked about him a lot. Up at, Ty Simpson at Alabama. What's going to happen at Georgia this year? There are just so many unknowns, at that quarterback position, which is obviously the most important position on the field. It is so open to me this year that I can't remember many college seasons going into it with this vibe, right?
I think that can make it fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it because the field is open. You know, there's not some guy that is the preseason Heisman favorite necessarily. Jeremiah Smith will be in that mix, of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny that kind of the two guys, at least at Ohio State, but across the country, there are a few guys that are like proven entities. You've got the running backs at Penn State, Ryan Williams, receiver at Alabama, Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, maybe Whit Weeks at linebacker at LSU.
Caleb Downs.
Yeah, Caleb Downs, of course. Some of the guys on the D-line at Clemson, but we're talking about not the quarterback position. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that has me excited.
I hear you, and I'm rolling with you on that. Coming up in 2 minutes, we will talk all things college football with Rocky Boyman from ESPN right here on The Fan.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
At Highbank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. Their Whiskey War spirits tell the story of Prohibition in every sip and was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Enjoy Highbank's nationally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days. Deferred payment. Interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit. Expires 8/31.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
These two have a ton in common. Anthony loves hockey, and Matty's always cold. This is Rothman and Ice.
That it is. Going to light up the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline right now and bring on Rocky Boyman, ESPN college football color analyst. Rocky, happy football season. Talking season is almost over, my man.
Fellas, it's here. I'm fired up. I got my first game here I'll be traveling to this weekend. And then college football will kick off big time here in a couple weeks. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Love this time of year.
What game do you have this weekend?
So I have one of there's very few of them, but I got one of those week 0 games. It's actually the FCS kickoff. It's UC Davis and Mercer, which is actually a really good FCS game. But look, I like calling these games, especially early, kind of kick the rust off a little bit. And I mean, what the hell? I just like calling games. Yeah. Even if you have kids and you have like a youth game and you need somebody to call it, just give me a ring and I'll come call it, you know?
I love it, man. We're right there with you. We're fired up. Football is in the air, so this is the best time of year for me. Rocky, as you know now, Ryan Day makes it official yesterday. Julian Sayin, he's going to follow up Will Howard as the next starting quarterback for Ohio State. Now that you know that Julian is the guy, when we look at a ceiling for Ohio State in 2025, Julian's the guy with the talent that they have. What type of ceiling do you believe the Buckeyes have this year?
A tremendously high ceiling. And look, you guys know more about Julian Sayin than I do, following him day to day. I've watched his highlight film. I mean, the kid's got a cannon, the ball. I mean, he's got a very, very quick release, which I like. I've heard, Drew Brees comps to him. But at the end of the day, I mean, what better situation could you be coming into if you're Julian Sayin? I mean, you're taking, your offensive reps and getting taught by one of the best offensive minds in the country in Ryan Day. You have the single best offensive player in college football in Jeremiah Smith. Also, by the way, I think Ohio State has maybe the best defensive player in college football in Caleb Downs. And Ohio State recruits like a bandit, as you guys well know. So, I mean, what a great situation for him to walk into, and I think he'll be just fine.
Rocky, kind of a bird's eye view of college football in 2025. Before you hopped on with us, I was just talking about my excitement around the game this year, just being that there are so many unknowns, particularly at the quarterback position, some unproven entities. What has you excited about college football in 2025?
Yeah, I think it's frustrating and maddening and exciting all in one in this day and age of the portal, right? And in my job, you're always looking to, okay, what did they have last year? How did they do? Who they got coming back? And those days are kind of over, right? Yeah, you don't know if they have a team has a great fresh back coming back, because largely these kids are transferring all over to hell. So it's kind of maddening to really get a gauge on who's going to be great, but it's exciting because there's so much promise. It's great for a college football fan because if you're a fan of a team that's, maybe had a rough year or had a rough couple years, you can flip that baby around quick with the portal. So, there's lots of promise in the way things are done now. So I think it's exciting just to see how these new players, both, the recruits that have developed and the transfer kids, just to see how they fit into the system and how things go. And, especially when you're talking the quarterback position, just seeing how these new players are across the country fit in and how they advance, it's very exciting.
ESPN college football analyst Rocky Boyman joining us here on The Fan. Rocky, let's talk a little Notre Dame. You're Irish. You played there. You know what it takes to play at the highest level there. It seems like now they have a head coach in the mix that knows what it takes to keep Notre Dame consistently in the mix. But to stay there, as you know, you got to have a dude at quarterback. I know that's been something they've tried to figure out throughout the offseason. Who's going to be the guy for the Golden Domers? When you look at that position for the Irish going into 2025, how are you feeling about that position right now?
I feel good about it. And of course, Marcus Freeman is not named a starter yet. It's going to be C.J. Carr or Kenny Minchie. And I know it's maddening to a lot of Irish fans because they want somebody named, and I do too. But, again, back to the portal kind of era that we're in, I think the coach is reluctant to name a guy too soon because then the other guy jumps in the portal soon and transfers out. So, I know they kind of play that cautiously, and, maybe both will get some reps. I mean, everybody I've talked to thinks C.J. Carr is the real deal. I mean, he's got the lineage, he's got the skills, he's got all the attributes that you want. And whoever the quarterback is, they're going to have, in my opinion, the best running back in the country. I think he's a Heisman favorite. He's my pick, and Jeremiah Love. I thought he was the best running back in college football last year. And that's no shot at Travion Henderson and those guys, but and they're starting with a great run game. They've recruited well, and we'll see what shakes out the quarterback spot. But I think the Irish will certainly be in the mix. Marcus Freeman. It's just, what an incredible journey he's had from losing to NIU last year. And the world is falling, to then leading them to the playoff, then getting a contract extension, going all the way to the title game. It was a fun ride for him, but I think Marcus Freeman showed he has command of a big place like Notre Dame. And a place like Notre Dame will flat gobble you up if you're not ready for it. And he was kind of trial by fire. He didn't have much experience as a head coach before that, but he came in, he showed he's got what it takes, and he can recruit, and the players like him. But not, I also get the sense they don't like him too much, and to where, I always get nervous sometimes when a guy's called a player's coach, and, you want your coach to like all the players and the players to like him, but not to the point to where they get lax, to where they get lazy and everything is kind of fun. I think he can strike that balance that you have to have these days.
Rocky, you talked about it just a moment ago in the modern day college game, just how you can kind of flip the script. If you have a bad season, maybe you bring in a horde of recruits and the next year can be a good one. In the Big Ten in particular, is there a team like that or a team maybe flying under the radar right now that you like?
I don't know if they're under the radar because I feel like people are talking about them, but Illinois, kind of out of nowhere. I think you got to give them a shake, and it's harder and harder to know at the beginning of the season how these teams are going to do and what the roster looks like. So the main thing I go to is head coach and quarterback. Do you get your head coach back with a quarterback that has experience at that place and in that system? I always give those teams the nod, no matter what conference you're talking about. And for Illinois, Brett Bielema comes back, and Luke Altmaier, the quarterback, comes back for not just his first or second, but his third year. So you got a third-year quarterback in that system with the same head coach. I think they got 16 starters back. I think the schedule is manageable. They play IU early, play Ohio State, of course, play USC. But other than that, it's not a total gauntlet of a schedule. So I think that's a team that could, especially in the Big Ten, jump up and surprise some folks this year.
Rocky, we'll get you out of here on this one. Look, college football is arguably bigger than it's ever been, right? With just the attention, the money that's out there for these programs to make, and just all that. It's so eye-opening to me. And now we have stories out there that the Big Ten may be on board with expanding the playoff again to 24 or 28 teams, and I see that, and I'm just like, Rocky, what are we doing? Like, I don't like this. Are you on board with it possibly getting to over 25 plus teams?
No, I thought things worked out pretty good last year. I like the fact that they switched the the scheduling module to the end there, which now it's a straight seeding system. I think that was a good little correction they can make, but I want a playoff to be elite. I want teams that have to fight, scratch, and claw. And when that playoff comes about, there's some elite teams, some good teams. You're talking about a 2018 playoff with, 7 guaranteed spots for the Big Ten and the SEC. I don't know. I just think it waters it down. I mean, I looked it up. Big Ten last year, the number 7 and number 8 finishers were Michigan and Minnesota. And nothing against those programs, but I don't know. Do we need, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if we need the number 7 finisher of the conference making a playoff. I like how things are right now because, I mean, guys, you look at these schedules, and there's some tough schedules out there. There's some great games. You can't have soft schedules anymore because people just won't watch. There's too many options. So you see teams still scheduling, having great schedules, good out-of-conference teams. So I kind of like it the way it is. I think it was one of the best years of college football. So, yeah, going to a 28 team or more, I think that's a little ridiculous.
I hear you, and I'm with you on that. He's Rocky Boyman, ESPN college football analyst. As always, my man, we appreciate your time, and we'll be talking to you throughout the season. Thank you.
You got it, fellas. Talk soon. Thank you.
There it goes. Rocky was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, and this literally just coming down from Pete Thamel. We just asked him about this. Notre Dame has just named C.J. Carr their starting quarterback.
Wake up the echo.
For the season. So there you go. There you go. Marcus Freeman rolling with C.J. Carr. Yesterday, the AP released their AP All-American teams for 2025. Which teams were represented the most? We'll tell you next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, flexible payment plans. Act now. Visit bluejackets.com/tickets.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
You think you know the odds? Picture this. You're at the gas station grabbing 4 delicious taquitos when you see an Ohio Lottery ticket with 1 in 4 odds. You think, if I buy 4 in a row, one's a definite win. Sorry, friend, but you'd be wrong. 1 in 4 odds means across the millions of tickets printed, 1 in every 4 is a winner, but not every 4th ticket since they're randomly distributed across the state. But 4 taquitos? That's a guaranteed win, 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 win. Learn more about common lottery myths at ohiolottery.com/knowtheodds. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
When it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and the deals are hot. Lease the rugged 25 Honda Ridgeline Sport for just $339 a month, or finance with an unbeatable 0.99% APR. Or drive home in the new 25 Honda Prologue EX. Lease it now for only $149 a month, or 0% APR, plus no payments for 90 days. Get the deal you deserve at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Check out this great deal on fresh grapes. Red, green, or black seedless grapes are only $1.77 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The trash talk, the bad trade requests, the horrible reaches on draft picks. It's fantasy football time, and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is giving you a chance to hold your fantasy draft in a fantasy location. On August 24th, host your fantasy draft party at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook, which will include a $100 dining credit, draft board, and swag. Visit 971thefan.com and sign up for your fantasy draft party package. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for help.
Introducing The Fan 2. A totally different radio station is coming to 1460 AM, The Fan's HD2, and The Fan app. Your home for Bob and Tom mornings and Jim Rome in the afternoons. It all starts Tuesday, September 2nd.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Stanley spent his life in the saddle, wrangling whatever life threw at him. But nothing prepared him for the fight against low T and ED. Shane practically hunched him over. Bonbon pills just gave him a headache. He begged for a lifeline.
Well, maybe it's over.
Columbus Men's Clinic said no. Medical conditions, old age, there's hope. This is about real treatments. Science, not one-size-fits-all guesswork. Columbus Men's Clinic was designed for men who hate going to the doctor. Personalized plans, cutting-edge treatments, overseen by an actual medical provider that takes the time to listen. With low T and ED treatments others only dream about, we fight like hell to get you back in the saddle. Because every second you wait, your condition could worsen. Act now. Don't let time slip away. Dial 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com. Your consultation is only $99, including blood work. And you know your T level before you leave. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony can follow direction very well, as long as he first prints out MapQuest. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Got to get our boy off MapQuest. I don't think he's using MapQuest anymore, Dylan. Dylan Tyre in the house today for AR. Sometimes we just have things that we stick with, and we don't budge off of That is one thing we had to get AR off MapQuest because the technology is there just to make life so easy for you when it comes to travel now.
I remember those days. You hop in the car, you got the printed out directions from MapQuest in the side pocket there. Hey, help me out. When you get to the turn, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Man, times have changed. That wasn't even that long ago.
No, it really wasn't. Like I can remember my parents taking me to, baseball tournaments and all that. And just like you said, there's just sheets of paper in the front seat. We have it so easy now, just in everything that we do, whether it's travel with GPS systems or literally getting groceries delivered to your front door. If you don't want to go to the grocery store anymore, like we took lazy to a whole nother level.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a printer at your place?
I do not.
Okay. See, that times have changed. Like you used to always have to have a printer. I don't have a printer either.
Either. I don't even use a printer here, let alone have a printer at my house. And so, yeah, man, we got it made. Like,
we do.
Everything is just right there for you. Like I was telling, we were talking a couple weeks ago, TLC AR, myself, just about he was talking about his time at Channel 6 and doing TV and how they would have to relay the scores and all that stuff late at night, 10 o'clock news, 11 o'clock news, whatever it was. And you had to wait around as a fan to hear what the heck happened. Now, literally on my phone, for every baseball game, if I want, for the Reds or the Guardians or whoever, like I can have the scoreboard on my home screen. I don't even have to open my phone anymore to keep up with what's going on in a game.
Well, how about the fact that it's not even you've got the score right there. It's, hey, if this guy hits a home run, you can literally click on that and it shows you the highlight of the home run or shows you the highlight of the 5 strikeouts in a row, whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's tailor-made to you. It's perfect.
Really is. It really is. The 2025 AP Preseason All-American team is out. And the programs that have the most guys on the first team is Texas, and then you have Clemson. So Texas, if I'm looking at this correctly, they have one player from every level of their defense on the first team. So
okay, I can get 2 of them.
Yes, you can. And those guys are?
Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill.
Yes. So D lineman Colin Simmons was a freshman last year, absolute monster. Anthony Hill Jr. is a linebacker. The other name to watch out for when we get to next Saturday in the secondary.
Malik Muhammad?
No, it is Michael Taff.
Oh, no.
Michael Taff was a former walk-on who is now, I believe, a senior. So a seasoned guy, and so a ball hawk on the back end. That's what they believe they have down there in Austin, and according to the AP, they have that as well. So Texas comes in with 3 guys, and then Penn State also has 3 guys on the first team as well. Nicholas Singleton, they have an offensive lineman, and a D lineman in Zane Durant. Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Bama, all have 2 players on the first team. Those 2 players for Ohio State, I'm sure you can guess it, are Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith. Cade Klubnik, DT, is the starting quarterback for the AP Preseason All-American team. Any reaction to any of that?
Well, preseason All-America doesn't mean a whole lot, right? Because it happens before you play the games. I'm kind of surprised to not see Sonny Styles, at least as a second-team linebacker on here. I think he's the one guy that hovers around these lists for Ohio State that isn't a Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Smith, or Max Clare. I think they've got, Max Clare is the second-team tight end here. But it is interesting to me, it's just like the consensus right now is Klubnik and Nussmeier as the quarterbacks. It's kind of funny that there's all the hype around Arch Manning, but he's not on any of these lists at this point. I think we see a lot of changes at the end of the season. For me, it goes back to those unknowns in college football this year. I think a lot of guys will be making names for themselves in college football this year. And as far as it relates to Ohio State, I wouldn't be surprised to see, an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman hop onto this list, a guy that really pops this season, a DB potentially too. I could see a guy popping onto this list from the defensive backfield at Ohio State. And that's what's exciting for me in years like this. I think back to quite a few years ago now, a player like Malik Hooker, where he was unknown, right? There was some hype going into the season. and then Malik Hooker just hops off the page at you. That's honestly one of the best individual defensive seasons I have ever seen in college football. Malik Hooker was such a difference maker. So for me, I love it when guys break out like that. And I feel like Ohio State is primed for that because, again, there are a handful of proven entities on offense, on defense, and so many other guys where you're like, all right, let's see what he's got.
The year that you're talking about with Malik.
2016?
It was somewhere around there. Yeah, somewhere around there. It was like, I was like, is that Ed Reed?
He was so good.
In a Buckeye uniform right now. It just felt like every single Saturday, this guy was taking the ball away, making impactful plays on defense, and just flying around doing his thing. So that's a great pull because he's one of my favorite Ohio State defenders in the history of the program.
Me too.
1 year and what he did was one of my favorite defensive performances I've ever seen from anybody out there in the Scarlet and Gray. So there you go. Ohio State represented both on the first and second team in the AP preseason All-American team. The wide receiver position's fun, right? Because Jeremiah Smith got all the love last year, and rightfully so. But Ryan Williams is a problem and will be a problem for Alabama. He makes the first team with Jeremiah. So 2 true sophomores on that list. And another name to watch is Jordan Tyson at the wide receiver position for Arizona State. I know some people like what they could be this year.
By the way, did you see what Colin Simmons did yesterday since we mentioned him earlier?
No, what'd he do? What'd he do?
He reposted the Ohio State announcement on his Instagram story about Julian Sayin being the starter.
I'm here for it.
He didn't put a caption. He didn't put a caption. He just simply reposted it because he must be on the Big Noon payroll or something like that. He's just promoting the game.
We can read into that.
He just reposted the story. That's all it was.
I love it. Give me any type of bulletin board, trash talk, anything before next Saturday. I love those type of things. Coming up top of the hour, we'll take a look at the AFC side of things in the NFL. The division winners last year. How safe are all of them going into 2025? We'll talk about it next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
So we bought an actual shopping mall and put one of the largest Honda dealerships in the world inside of it. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. So it's big. We house about 150 to 200 cars indoors, lit, all unlocked, ready for you to be able to view and see. A fully tempered climate. Doesn't matter if it's raining outside, 10 below zero, super hot. There's real trees inside, and it's just a casual environment. And if you haven't seen it, it's really a cool story. Not about its opulence. It's just a cool story to see what was a dilapidated old mall being reinvigorated into a pillar in the community that everybody benefits from.
This month at Lindsay Honda, our famous Cash for Clunkers continues during our Honda Summer event. Get up to $3,500 minimum for your trade and use it for a down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash. Only at Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Common Man here. Our friends at Care Heating and Cooling in Lenox are feeling the love. They're doing something extraordinary for Central Ohio families. The Lenox Feel the Love program provides deserving families and individuals with indoor heating and cooling equipment as well as installation at no cost. You can nominate someone who you think is deserving at feelthelove.com. Nominations will be accepted through August 31st. Let's give back to our hometown heroes. Selfless neighbor, maybe who always puts everybody first. Community leaders like teachers, firefighters, and volunteers, or just families facing hard times. Whoever you think is worthy, send a nomination. As of 2024, the Field of Love program has completed more than 350 installations with help of dealers like Care Heating and Cooling. Our friends at Lennox donate all the equipment, and Care donates the labor and materials, and the installs are done at no cost. Remember, the deadline is August 31st. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. Ohio State football is 11 days from its top 3 matchup versus number 1 Texas. Julian Sayin was named the team starting quarterback while Austin Saraveld was named starting left tackle on Monday. In pro football, Bengals All-Pro defensive end Trey Hendrickson remains in a hold-in for a contract extension. ESPN's Laura Rutledge reporting that the two sides have agreed on average salary and length of the deal, but not on guaranteed money. In baseball, the Cincinnati Reds face the Los Angeles Angels at 9:38 in Anaheim. Cleveland Guardians look to win 2 in a row at the Arizona Diamondbacks at 9:40. Columbus Clippers host the Omaha Storm Chasers at 6:15 from Huntington Park. This SportsCenter update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up, knuckleheads? You're listening to Rothman Ice on The Fan. It's not terrible.
Depends on who you ask. Welcome back in. Matty Ice, Dylan Tyre in the house today for AR. Bottom of the hour, the one and only voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, will stop by to talk about last year and that ride to a national championship and what could be ahead for Ryan Day as they turn the page going into 2025. The Fan High School Football Game of the Week is back this Friday as we kick off the season with Big Walnut taking on Bishop Watterson. Coverage starts at 6:30 and kickoff is at 7 after the game. It's the Byers Dublin Subaru overtime with Ryan Baker and Lee Cochran. High school football is back on The Fan. You know, since we're talking high school football, quick shout out to my high school, Pickerington North. I saw yesterday they were ranked top 10 in the state, getting it going. So Coach Hillerich and the gang over there, go get it. Go get it. I know you got the goods to get it done. I know everybody over there in our neck of the woods, the good side of Pickerington, DT. The north side, baby. We're ready to rock and roll. So good luck to my Panthers starting here
Dylan,
soon.
where in L.A. did you go to high school?
I went to a place called Miracosta High School. Why? What do you got cooking over there?
I don't know. I was just curious.
You were just curious.
Just
okay.
That sounds fancy.
It's really not. It's just a high school. But
by the way, speaking of fancy high schools in Los Angeles, you know where Nicole Sheeran went to high school? She went
Modern Day?
No, she went to the same private high school that Ronald Reagan sent his kids to.
Are you serious?
So
I am dead serious.
Nicole went to Chadwick. She is from the same hometown as I am. Did you know that?
Even suburb of
She is
Los
from
Angeles?
Manhattan Beach, California. That is where I am from.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
Small
I
world.
didn't know you were a Cali guy.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I'm from,
Interesting.
From the L.A. area originally.
What brought the family to the Midwest? What's the story?
Well, all my family is from the Midwest originally,
Okay.
Chicago area mostly, but I went to Ohio State. I always wanted to go to a Big Ten school, blue blood. Grew up an Iowa fan. My dad went to Iowa and toured around the Big Ten and some great opportunities to get into broadcasting, which of course is my profession at Ohio State, and the rest is history. Been here ever since.
That's kind of a Brock Bowers story because he's from Napa, California, and he said he went to Georgia just because he wanted the college football culture.
Yeah, I wanted a blue blood, and just so many. Beyond football at Ohio State, just so many great sports. I mean, you've got everything, literally everything. It's awesome.
It really is. Excuse me. So you're telling me
that's why you don't eat in between commercials.
that was just a normal burp. It was just a normal burp.
My Columbus team is Thomas Worthington. I live closest to Thomas Worthington, and I think they've got a Northwestern commit at D end of this year. So I'm going to catch a couple of games. I'm fired up.
I used to love playing baseball games at the high school stadium,
Yes.
the high school field
The short
there.
left field.
Is it still the same way there? If you it's like the mini version of Fenway Park up there.
I couldn't tell you
It was
off the
great,
top
man.
of my head
I
just
loved
driving by.
If you think that you could put one over the Green Monster in Boston, I promise you could put one over at Thomas Worthington. They got a short left field.
100%. It feels like it's 150 feet away.
Have you guys seen that high school since they've redone it? It's like the nicest high school I've ever seen in my
Really?
life.
Thomas Worthington?
Oh my God. They built a full new campus in the last year or so. It is beautiful.
Oh man.
Yeah, you guys got to drive by and
Might
check
have
it
to
out.
get up
It's
there.
unreal.
Might have to going back to Nicole real quick because you threw that at us, and that is a really good nugget there. So you're saying when Nicole went to lunch, it was charcuterie boards and it was salmon and
it was
steak
food
and
courts.
Yeah, it wasn't any of the stuff we were eating in high school.
No.
She was living right. I'll have to ask her about that. That's interesting.
Us slumming it in public. So,
Yeah, I went public. No private for me.
I went to Dublin Kaufman.
Yeah,
we weren't that poor.
You're bougie too. Yeah.
Hey,
It's
can
bougie. I
we
love
do a
coffee.
bit? Can we do a bit at some point where we all take batting practice at Thomas Worthington and so you can put
I
one
would
out over
love
left
to.
field?
I would love to. If they can have us out there, DT, I'm sure has got some pull out there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Out there, I would love to get out there.
Do they still
and
have
try
the
to crank
tree
some.
in right field?
I don't know.
Like right behind the bullpen? Like there's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
tree in play.
It really is. Shout out to Thomas Worthington as well. So, football season, it's almost here. The NFL gets going, in a couple weeks? We'll have that first game of the year, I believe. Top of my head is Dallas and Philly. Do I have that right? I think that first Thursday
Dallas
night
and
game,
Philly, yeah.
is that what okay.
Yeah, and then
So-
you've got the Brazil game on Friday,
Yes,
right? KC.
with Kansas City, and who are they taking on? Let me get this for you guys because Kansas City.
That's the Brazil. That's the YouTube game.
The Chargers. Yes. So they will take on Harbaugh and the Chargers. And I'm glad you mentioned that, TLC. This game will be solely on YouTube. So make sure you have all that fired up at the house if you don't. But looking at the AFC side of things going into 2025, your division winners last year, the Buffalo Bills at 13-4, the Baltimore Ravens at 12-5, the Houston Texans at 10-7, and then the Kansas City Chiefs at 15-2. Of those four teams, Dylan, who do you think? Let's start there. Who do you believe is the safest bet to run it back and go back-to-back as a division winner this year?
I would think by far the safest bet would be the Buffalo Bills. I just think that the rest of the division is relatively weak. I know people are high on the Patriots this year. I think I'm a little bit higher on the Dolphins than a lot of people are this year. I think the Jets will be okay. I think they'll run the ball well. I think they'll defend well. But I think that one, the AFC East, is the Bills' hands down.
I agree with you that just what they have at the most important position is elite, coming off an MVP season, that being Josh Allen. And then you bounce around the division, and who do you really have confidence in that's going to be a week-to-week consistent player at that position? Tua would be the answer. However, the availability is always going to be there until he gives us a 2 to 3 year run probably of being out there every single week until that narrative gets pushed to the side. I agree with you. I am one of those people that is high on what New England can be this year and getting to 8, 9, 10 wins in year number 1 for Vrabel and year number 2 for Drake May. So I will roll with you on that. That Buffalo is probably the safest of the 4 AFC division winners to do it again in 2025. After that, DT, how do you feel about Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City, the North, South, and West, and maybe a team or two in those divisions that could get after the division winner?
All right, so I think my biggest maybe shock would be I think the Bengals could win this division. Like, I think they could really bounce back, and I told you earlier that I'm just so high on that offense that if they are marginally better on defense this year, I think they can be right back in that conversation. I would not be surprised at all to see the Bengals be, maybe the best team in the AFC this season. I have so much faith in that offense. Kansas City is an interesting one for me in that I think they will win the division again. People are down on them just because they lost the Super Bowl badly, right? They're still the Kansas City Chiefs. I know there are some questions up front. I think Josh Simmons is a really nice piece there and is going to fit nicely. I think people are maybe a little bit down on the weapons or down on Patrick Mahomes, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. I will say, the Broncos, I think, could pose a threat, maybe even the Chargers this year. It's a big year for the Chargers to take a step, but I'm not going to doubt the Kansas City Chiefs. So confidence-wise, I think the Chiefs will still win that division. For me, I think there's a little bit of intrigue in the AFC South.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Houston, of course, has the edge there, but I think I'm higher than most people on the Jaguars this year. I like a step from Trevor Lawrence. And don't count out Cam Ward. Like, nobody is talking about Cam Ward, and I'm liking a lot of the stuff that I'm hearing out of Titans camp.
I don't know if it's the C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels magic that I've watched them cook up the last 2 years that has me feeling similar to what you just said about Tennessee.
Yeah.
Is that I have to remind myself that every single year we don't see a rookie play at a very high level. Mm-hmm. We've seen that the last 2 years. There's going to be rookies, or there has been rookies that come in and do some good things, the way that I think Bo Nix did last year, and some flashes from Drake May and Caleb Williams every once in a while. But, I mean, Jaden Daniels getting to the NFC Championship game his rookie year, C.J. Stroud getting to the postseason in his rookie year. Like, those things shouldn't happen, but maybe that's something that we should be getting used to with the way that these guys stick around college football for a while now and get all that experience. That transition may not be as tougher as we've seen in the past. What I like about what you hear about the Tennessee Titans is that people think that could be a unit up front, that being their offensive line, that's 5th to 10th in the league. And if you have that in front of a guy in Cam Ward, who I think has a really special arm with what he can do and throwing from different angles and eluding pressure and just really dotting up throws when you need to, I see the vision of what Tennessee can be this year, especially if the 5 guys in front of him are going to be very, very consistent with what they do. And so of the 4 division winners from last year on the AFC side of things, the Bills to me are the safest. After that, man, I mean, between Baltimore, Houston, and Kansas City, who I think is threatened the most, I am going to go with the Baltimore Ravens, just because of the Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers effect in my mind and what that is going to be. After that, I'll go Kansas City. That's threatened the most. Oh, man, it's just the Chargers and the Broncos, DT.
People are very high on the Broncos this year.
They really are, and that's why I'm moonwalking a little bit off of what their ceiling is going to be this year. Not that they're going to be a bad team.
No,
I don't see that happening
on that
at all. But when I think about the elite teams in the AFC, I think obviously star power at the most important position, but playmakers everywhere around those guys to varying degrees, right, as far as how elite those playmakers are. For Denver, I just don't have a strong feel of the pop on offense. And when they get into games with the elite guys, can they do that? I don't see that yet. And the same thing could be said for me with the Chargers. And so Kansas City, I think offensively they're going to be scary. I really do. Like the Rashee Rice thing, He's going to be around for the first few games. We shall see what happens after that. But if Rashee Rice is going to be a consistent presence with Xavier Worthy and with Hollywood Brown, and then you sprinkle in Kelsey and all of those things throughout the regular season to keep him ready for the postseason, I think Kansas City's offense could fly high a little bit and maybe mirror some of the stuff they were doing with Tyreek Hill, with really pushing the ball down the field. Coming up next, Adam Schefter. He talked about the Browns quarterback situation and how many quarterbacks they may keep as we get ready for their first matchup of the year against the Cincinnati Bengals. You will hear that next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in OHIO. But the greatest players and coaches of all time live in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter if you spend your Sundays yelling "Hoo Day" or barking like a dog from your seats in the pound. A trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame should be on every fan's bucket list. Plan your trip at ProFootballHof.com. The Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion, relive the glory.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and with football back, Rich is ready to dominate the competition. You can lease the sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $249 a month or finance with 3.99% APR. Upgrade to adventure with the 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Lease starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and I want to talk to you about the roof over your head. You know that thing that protects your house and everything in it? It's pretty important, and a lot of you are going to have to replace it soon, but be warned. There are companies out there that skip over the biggest part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if that attic doesn't have proper circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and rot. You got rot, and not to mention leaks in the wintertime and higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I'm telling you about my guys at Victor's Home Solutions. They start with a free 21-point roof inspection, including a thorough inspection of that attic as well. They know that if that ventilation isn't right, that roof's going to be built on a shaky foundation. That's why every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are also available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and get that estimate today. 866-VICTORS or go to victors.com.
Join us Friday night for the Egelhoff Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
This week, Bishop Watterson and Big Walnut.
Live coverage with Paul Barnes and DeVere Posey starts Friday night at 7. The Fan.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heat and humidity, the center of our forecast today. This afternoon into the low 90s. However, we'll also see chances of showers and thunderstorms, some which could have heavy downpours and gusty winds. We'll see daytime highs in the low 90s, and then for tonight, overnight lows down into the 70s, with chances of showers and storms diminishing overnight. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Maddie ranked the most dynamic duo of all time, Caesar Salad and Moscow Mule. This is Rothman and Ice.
Well, knock it till you try it. I'm telling you, in Las Vegas 2 years ago, myself, AR, and CB for Radio Row. And Super Bowl media party was off the chain. They had it like at the racetrack down there. I don't know if it's specifically for F1 or whatever it is, but do a lot of races there.
I thought you might gong this.
And
there you go.
Go ahead. Well, yeah, that's probably appropriate for me right there. But we were walking around this media party, and they had like these trays of Caesar salad just going around. And I was just crushing that and crushing Moscow Mules, and I couldn't stop talking about it because it was that darn good. But, yeah, the Vegas Super Bowl run was awesome. New Orleans was fun last year, but Vegas, as you can imagine, was incredible. It really was.
I got to tag along with you guys. That sounds awesome.
If we're still going, we will be in Cali this year. I believe the next 2 Super Bowls are in Cali, and so I don't know if it's San Francisco this year.
I think it's San Francisco this year.
It's San Francisco this year. I know that.
Okay, and then the one after that, I could be mistaken,
SoFi?
but I'm pretty sure it's back in
You
LA.
can come with us and just call it a trip back home.
There you go.
Sure, that's perfect. I don't know if you can beat Vegas and New Orleans back to back though. Like that's
well, New
pretty
Orleans
good.
was a little bittersweet for me just because my back was just a mess down there, so I couldn't do anything after the show. But Radio Row is just an awesome experience in itself because everywhere you look, there is somebody you probably recognize, whether it's an entertainer, former athlete, whoever it may be. It's definitely a who's who. So, yeah, fun stuff there, and I really am blessed to get to do that. Before we hear from Schefter when it comes to what the plans could be at the most important position for the Brownies, I'm sure you saw, DT, the comments from Dylan Gabriel when I think the game was still going on, and he threw out the word entertainers, right? Like, we're not really here to be entertainers. We're really here to be football players.
This is my Chet Roulette if you want to save it for that.
I'm paraphrasing. Okay, well, we'll save it then because I have not heard. I'm glad you said that, TLC. We will wait because I cannot wait to get our boy DT's take on that. But going back to the Brownies and the quarterback situation right now, he was on ESPN, and here is the latest on either his feel or what he has been told about their plans at QB.
I expect the Cleveland Browns to carry 4 quarterbacks.
So they will do that.
4 quarterbacks on their final 53-man roster. Whew. I expect they'll have 4 there. They're going to keep both rookies. They're going to keep Flacco. So we're really talking about Kenny Pickett.
What about Pickett?
And I expect he makes the roster because quarterbacks are currency.
What's the Wendy? When Adam says expect, somebody called him.
Or maybe the Cowboys trade for Kenny Pickett.
Or maybe somebody calls about one of the rookie quarterbacks.
I don't love it. I don't love going into the season and having 4 quarterbacks. Now, I believe they did a similar thing last year where they had 4, then going into week 1, they cut it down to 3. So maybe that is the case, but that's Schefter obviously getting some information that he trusts and rolling with that for now. And as they say in wrestling, cards subject to change. And that could change over the next week or 2. If I were running a football team, I would want to give that extra spot to somebody in the trenches, a D lineman or an offensive lineman, but they put themselves in this situation because of the injuries too throughout the training camp portion of the calendar and these first 2 preseason games. The injury bug has not allowed clarity either And so I kind of understand Kevin Stefanski needing more answers. I'm just not in favor of keeping 4, DT.
Neither am I, and it's a very odd thing to keep 4 quarterbacks for the reason that you talked about, right? You always want to use the extra roster spots to bulk up some of those positions that you, of course, need the depth. Guys get hurt a lot, whether it's on the offensive line, defensive line. Sometimes you'll see a team take an extra running back or an extra tight end for special teams purposes. It just depends on your needs, right? But I don't understand the need to keep 4 quarterbacks. I assume you're going to try and trade Kenny Pickett, right? But you have to be comfortable with one of the rookies to back up. You know, like I feel like the way people have talked about Dylan Gabriel, that maybe the Browns felt that his floor was a long-term backup in the National Football League. And, you know, I know Shadur is dealing with a little something right now with the oblique, right? But not for nothing. He looked pretty good in the preseason start that he had. So I feel like you let those two continue to duke it out in practice as the year starts. Do you expect Joe Flacco to start the entire season in Cleveland? I don't think so. I feel like people will be clamoring to see a rookie at some point, depending on how the year goes. You know, maybe Flacco surprises, but I don't think Kenny Pickett really serves a purpose on that roster other than to be dealt for maybe minor draft capital.
I completely agree with you, and I went down a crazy rabbit hole in my brain. It's like, why do they want to do this? Why do they want to keep 4? And right now, it's like maybe part of it is, hey, we got 4 guys we like so much that we got to keep them.
Maybe so. That's a great situation.
You sell that to the league is that we got 4 guys. We can't get rid of anybody. If you want one of these guys, you got to trade for them. We're not just cutting either any of these guys. To get rid of one of the rookie quarterbacks has never made any sense to me.
No, absolutely
at all. You have no clue what they are. Figure that out on the fly in 2025. Pickett, to me, has always been the guy that would make sense to move on from, right? Joe Flacco has been in this system, played at a really high level, won comeback player of the year, led them to the postseason. It's crazy stuff that we saw from him. That's the guy you want to start with, and I think for a handful of games, you allow him to cook. With Kenny Pickett, maybe you can trade him now. They traded for him, sent DTR to Philly, along with a 5th-round pick. And there is a world to me that you can get similar draft compensation back for Kenny Pickett, maybe 5th, 6th-round pick or whatever it was. So if you can free yourself up from that money, and it's not crazy money for Kenny Pickett, but if you can do anything to help out your books, I think you should do that. And also if you can get any type of pick back, which I think they could for Kenny Pickett, that is the guy to move on from. I'm not caught up in, well, they traded for him. He hasn't played in any meaningful games. You can't do that. Like, I don't see it that way. I would be totally on board if they decided to move on for Pickett, especially if they can get something in return.
The one thing I will say is that they traded for Kenny Pickett, so I think they see something in him, right? Yeah. Of course, they've got Joe Flacco. They've named him the starter. Pickett's been limited throughout training camp. He's dealing with injury. Is there a scenario in their minds that Kenny Pickett was their guy from the start, or maybe he is their guy and Joe Flacco is just going to bide time as the starter? Kenny Pickett gets healthy, gets reps, and they're comfortable with him being the starter, and then maybe Flacco's the guy on the chopping block after the start of the regular season? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying
I
there?
definitely see what you're saying. At the end of the day, all of it is confusing.
It is.
All of it is a tough path to get to as far as, hey, getting to the end of the road and knowing what you have. And maybe that will happen. And maybe we're talking about week 16 and 17. Hey, Dylan is this, Shadur is that. This is what they should do going into the draft next year. I'm just not in favor in seeing a ton of Flacco unless it's like we're 6-0. You know what I mean?
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Something like that. Like, it would have to be that drastic for me to look at that situation and say they should stick with Joe. Like, you got to be leading the AFC North at the quarter point or something like that to really keep that train rolling. Because other than that, man, like, I think Shadur and Dylan, with where they are right now, what you have as far as draft capital for next year, let those guys figure it out on the fly a little bit, reevaluate at the end of the year what you saw from those two guys and say, either we believe in one, we don't believe in either one of them, or we have our guy, we can go into next year's draft and use it on, you know, a premier player, 2 premier players with our 2 first-round picks.
The way that I've described it is that they're lottery tickets, right?
Yeah.
And you want to see what you have in them at some point. Like, you're going to get an idea in the preseason or through practice, but when it comes to actually during the season, like how much practicing are you doing, right? You're not practicing to see what you have. You're practicing to get ready for the next opponent, for scheming, for installing, things like that. So it's a slippery slope. And, I've been there, and I think people know that I'm a Bears fan, and I've seen it year after year that, maybe the Bears sign a veteran quarterback to let a rookie marinate. That guy struggles. Everybody clamors for the rookie to play. I feel like it's bound to happen at some point in Cleveland, right? And the fact that you have two rookie quarterbacks really muddies the situation in that, like you said, unless Joe Flacco comes out guns blazing and they're 6-0, people are going to be clamoring to see Shedeur Sanders or see Dylan Gabriel. And what if you go with one of those guys and then he falters? Are you going to be clamoring to see the other guy? What happens if he falters, right? But at the same time, in saying that, you kind of have to see what you have, because they are lottery tickets. And if one of them pans out, it's a quarterback on a rookie deal. And then the world kind of becomes your oyster, because you're like, okay, we can make some moves to try and go for it.
No doubt. No doubt about it. Coming up in 2 minutes, the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, stops by to talk all things Scarlet and Gray. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/Gator XUV.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers, and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Betty's favorite show is Big Brother. Don't read into it. He's only watching strangers through hidden cameras. You're listening to Rothman and Creepy Stalker Guy.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Big Brother's legit. You know what else is legit? It's the one and only Paul Keels, voice of the Buckeyes, and he joins us in studio right now. Paul?
There you go. Who canceled on you guys?
Nobody.
That you had to
It's that time of the year. It's the best time of the year. We have to bring in the voice of the Buckeyes.
Well, you know, I feel unprepared because I should be talking wrestling with you, and I should be talking double minors and power plays with Dylan.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Paul, what year is this for you?
This will be season number 28.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. For the folks that don't know, like, walk us through your process right now and how Paul Keels gears up for a season.
Well, after the making it up part of it, it's really just trying to, transpose notes from the end of last season into this year. Ohio State, like so many other schools now, does not officially put out a too deep, but you get a little bit of an idea from what you hear from the press conferences and all that, what it's going to be like. So getting an idea, I think we all have a pretty good idea who the starters are going to be, but who are going to be the number 3, the number 4 wide receivers, the number 3, number 4 running backs, extra defensive backs, extra nickel backs. So just trying to get a handle on that, getting stats organized, and then once you know that, put it all on the old manila folder and get a chart ready and, be ready to try and keep up with it all.
You just said it's season 28.
Yes.
So what gets you excited? Like year to year, what gets you excited this time of year?
The exciting part as well, Dylan, is the expectations that are always there. You guys know with Ohio State, but the unknown. Even though there are all of the expectations that this is a team that will be a national championship contender and a Big Ten contender, just seeing how it all plays out. Who emerges to really be a key point during this season, how everything changes during the course of the season. Really, if you look back at last year, you saw after the loss at Oregon, how this defense kind of regathered and got themselves together and played at a high level. How you saw, you think about the 2 Oregon games. The first one, they couldn't get any pressure on Dylan Gabriel. The second one, the Rose Bowl, they get 8 sacks. So how do they make that adjustment? We know that Jeremiah Smith is going to be a game-changing type of player. We anticipate that Carnell Tate and Brandon Ennis will also help offset that. There's certainly a lot of feeling that Max Clare, tight end, is going to give him another threat. The offensive line has got some depth that maybe you haven't seen in a while. And how will that all fit in with a brand new quarterback? Who will establish himself at running back? And then on defense, there's some known commodities, but one of the things that made them so solid last year was the depth on defensive line. The guys that are backups now are going to be the premier players. Who will be the guys behind them that can make impacts?
Paul Keels joining us here in studio, voice of the Buckeyes. Paul, I want to go back to last year, right? Because that was obviously historical stuff that we saw from that team. What moment or moments have really stuck with you from what you saw from game number 1 all the way down to the national championship? When you think about that season, what moments jump to the forefront of your mind?
Well, there's a few things, Matty. You think about after the loss at Oregon, and then they played Nebraska, and it was kind of a little bit of a clunky game, but they were able to get the win, and there were people who were grumbling about how they beat Nebraska, but they were able to do what they needed to do to get back on track and kept pushing all the way up till that last game against Michigan. But maybe the most significant thing is how they came back and answered after that Michigan game. You guys know there was a feeling around town and around the state. What's going to happen with this team after the way that game played out at Ohio Stadium? And especially on that night when there was so much orange from Knoxville that had surfaced in Columbus. And the way they came out and just early on jumped on Tennessee, the way they blitzed Tennessee, and then the very next game, the way they got all over Oregon in the first half out in the Rose Bowl. Obviously, it'd be easy to say, guys, the national championship game, and certainly that was a great thing. But to see how they responded against Tennessee after the Michigan loss and how they responded against an Oregon team that they really wanted another chance to play.
You've talked about the unknown so much, and I think you talking about coming out of that Michigan game triggered this thought for me, in that you thought you knew what Ohio State had last year, and then that happens in the Michigan game, and you're kind of thinking, remember, there was so much time leading into that Tennessee game, too. Everybody was like, okay, what does Ohio State really have? Well, we found out. This year, again, Ohio State is coming off winning a national championship, but it feels like there's some anxiety. There's so many unknowns. A quarterback was just named, highly touted and all that, but maybe there's a little bit of discourse because you don't know necessarily what this new quarterback has. So many changes on the rest of the roster. You think back to the last time Ohio State won a national championship, the 3 quarterbacks that played that season were all back the next year. There were a lot of guys back. So how do you feel like this year compares? Like, how do you feel going in with so many unknowns?
Well, Dylan, I'll answer that by the question that's come up about, so in 28 years, we've seen 3 national championships, and they've all been very different. 2002, it was, high tension all the way to the very end of the game. 2014 lost week 2 and played themselves back into it. And then last year, the way it played 2 losses but taking advantage of the new playoff system. How they respond after that will be interesting to see. And I think part of the thrill of college football is you have to get new quarterbacks. You have to get new players. And the other part that creates fun and anxiety is starting with a week 1 opponent like Texas. Yeah. I mean, in most years, there's a little bit of a ramp up to it. So that's kind of the uniqueness and the exciting part about it, because you don't know. You knew last year the way they started that they had a ways to build up before they got to playing some of the big games. That's what's exciting about this. They're going to have to find out in a hurry.
I want to ask you about Coach Day and where he is now, right, in his career, and getting that national championship, obviously a huge deal. But just talk about, Paul, how you've seen him grow as a coach from year one following Urban to where he is now and where the program is under his watch.
Well, Matty, I think you have to start with 2018 when he was the acting head coach for 3 games during that suspension. How well he handled that. And not just those games. Remember, he was the acting head coach through all of summer camp that year. So there seemed to be, and this is, nobody's ever officially said this, but when that 2018 season ended, there was a feeling Ryan Day was going to be a head coach someplace. And the way it worked out, it was here. I think you've seen him grow with, number one, developing the quarterback talent. That's kind of been his calling card. Developing coaches. He's had to make tough decisions on making changes with assistant coaches. Not an easy thing to do. And we've seen with other coaches when they haven't done that, where it's kind of backfired on them. But I think what you've seen is how he prepares these teams, how he prepares them for practice, how he prepares them for the fall camp to get ready for this, but also how he's able to turn the page. And you've heard him talk about last year's national championship doesn't guarantee him a single yard this year, how they transition to get ready for what's next.
What about his supporting cast this year? You've got a little bit of continuity offensively with Brian Hartline being elevated to offensive coordinator, but on the defensive side of the ball, you used to have continuity with Jim Knowles. Now it's something brand new in Matt Patricia. How do you feel about some of those changes?
You know, I think, Dylan, what helps with that, especially on the defensive side, you've still got the other coaches that were there. Larry Johnson on the defensive line, James Laurinaitis at linebackers, and Tim Walton and Matt Guerreri in the back end. So I think what that does is it creates a little bit of a base that Matt Patricia can come in, insert his own thoughts and his own things, but also look at what they can do to make the most out of those players. Sometimes we probably get too caught up on what the coaches' philosophies are. It's about the guys wearing the uniforms and the plays that they make. And, you know, with Brian Hartline, he kind of was an offensive coordinator before, but let's make no mistake. I think we know who the offensive coordinator of this football team is. It's the guy that also has the title of head coach. But it will be interesting to see how they work all of these tools around Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz to be able to give them the best chance to be able to have success on offense.
We've got some changes coming to the shoe, physically, the environment, and all of those things. Like, Paul, from the things that you've heard listed that are coming, right? Ross Bjork, I think, did a media appearance a couple of weeks ago or whenever that was. But there's some Buckeye fans that are used to tradition, right? And just going into the shoe and knowing what you're going to get Saturday in and Saturday out with the new things that are on deck. How do you feel about that and what that can do for the environment over there on Saturdays?
Well, Matty, I think first off, they're to be applauded for wanting to make changes. And those who were there at the Tennessee game saw some of the differences. Now, that was not normal Ohio State game management. That was the playoff committee. Right. So trying to embrace some change, but maintain the traditions. You know, the bell ringer, the Bengals have a thing before each and every game they have. They had the ruler of the jungle. So this is kind of something like that. And who better to start it than with Archie Griffin? Those bells are such an iconic sound that you hear around that campus. I know that people are kind of a little anxious and maybe not quite in favor of some of it, but we've also seen too at times the atmosphere isn't always what you want it to be. What helps the atmosphere, whether it's at the shoe, whether it's at the Schottenstein Center, is when the team's having success and when the team's winning. And so it'll be interesting to see. I'm really anxious to see how it plays out. And I think what it's done, Matt and Dylan, I think it's kind of opened the door that maybe there are other things in future years or, other adjustments that could come that could kind of tap into it all. Because we're fortunate to be able to get to see what goes on in other stadiums and other settings. I mean, that jump around at Wisconsin, that's scary. That's life-threatening. And I mean that in a not terribly dangerous way. But when you feel concrete shaking around you in a stadium. Oh, yeah. So, but they're trying to see if they can do something different and add to the atmosphere.
Paul, as always, we appreciate your time. I know things are getting really, really busy for you right now, so thank you. And I know Buckeye fans are looking forward to you on Saturdays on the call.
Well, it's a highlight of my week to spend time in here with you guys.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
Now go catch up on Love Island like I've been telling you to do.
You know better than that.
Voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, joining us here on The Fan. When we come back in our Buckeye Bulletin, Brian Hartline, the offensive coordinator for Ohio State, you will hear from him about Julian Sayin. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Hi, I'm Coach Ryan Day, and I've seen firsthand how tough and resilient kids can be. But I've also seen the struggles that aren't always visible. Mental health challenges are real. That's why I'm proud to partner with the Kids Mental Health Foundation. Together, we're helping parents, teachers, and coaches talk to kids about mental health before there is a concern or crisis. Start making kids' mental health a part of every day with free tools and resources at kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HindererMotorCompany.com.
The trash talk, the bad trade requests, the horrible reaches on draft picks. It's fantasy football time, and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is giving you a chance to hold your fantasy draft in a fantasy location. On August 24th, host your fantasy draft party at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook, which will include a $100 dining credit, draft board, and swag. Visit 971thefan.com and sign up for your fantasy draft party package. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for help.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Bishop and Friends.
Initially, I was going to really make her feel very bad. And now, I think the tact I'm going to take is supportive husband.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Seller.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe they're moving the team to another city.
True, but you'll never forget all the joy they brought into your life.
Joy? They made the playoffs twice in 50 years.
Gosh, those 2 times were pretty great, weren't they?
How would I know? I wasn't even born yet.
Just think of all the free time you'll have on game days.
Those games were the highlight of my week.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Dylan, let's knock out a Buckeye Bulletin. Dylan Tyre in the house today for AR. Thanks again to the GOAT, Paul Keel, stopping by to give us some of his time. You know, I was thinking after we got done with the interview, and I'll have to ask him this off the air. Has he ever been approached to do like voiceover work for HBO, like Hard Knocks type of stuff, like those, like documentaries, like on the animal, like anything like that? Because that man right there with that voice, like That's what you dream of having when you get into broadcasting.
Oh, I would kill to have a voice like his. That is
a legend.
Every time he speaks, I'm just like, man, that is pretty sweet.
Paul kills, man. It's good stuff. And if
he was great, too.
He's awesome, as he always is. And if you're just now hopping on and you missed Paul, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. All you have to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything will be there waiting for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. We heard from Ryan Day yesterday about Julian saying when he made the announcement that Julian will be the guy. Let's hear now from the offensive coordinator. Here's Brian Hartline on Julian saying some of the progress that maybe he's seen from him.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job of being consistent with taking care of the football. I think he's done a really good job of giving guys opportunity to make plays, and I think it's just the body of work. It's not, one play here, one play there that ultimately decides that really important decision. I think it's just been the work as a whole, and I think that he's just, again, not that anyone wasn't, he just was very consistent. Communication was really, really well done, and I think he, really did a good job through camp. So, yeah, I'm really happy for him and excited that he's one of ours.
One of the best things you can do when you're a quarterback is what he just mentioned right here at the beginning.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job of, being consistent with taking care of the football.
When you hear that, that's a big feather in the cap of anybody, right? Is the trust that a staff has in you. Is that to know that down in, down out, more times than not, this guy is not going to put us in harm's way. And like he said in that clip, Lincoln probably did a good job of those things too, but the word consistency always jumps out to me when I hear it from coaches because to me, that equates to trust.
What it means is you're giving your guys a chance. And at a place like Ohio State, any blue blood school, you are going to have just such talent at some of those skill positions, whether it's the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends. And as a matter of fact, Ohio State has, multiple first-round talents at wide receiver, at tight end this year, and we'll see what they've got at the running back position. Sayin doesn't necessarily have to be a star this season. He's got to be a game manager when it comes down to it, right? Don't turn the ball over and distribute the rock to all of these weapons and then let them do what they do. Can he be a star? Absolutely. It sounds like he's got all the talent in the world, but I think that's what it comes down to, right? You're managing the football and you're giving your guys a chance, and that's what you want early, at least. That's what you want early. He doesn't need to be Superman.
Oh, I agree. And one of the best things that I heard from Will Howard last year was exactly what you just said. When Will acknowledged publicly and obviously behind the scenes, I know I don't have to be a superhero. That's not what I'm brought in here to do. I'll have my moments where I'm going to step up and be the guy, but I can Clark Kent this thing Saturday in and Saturday out and still be successful the way that he was. You touched on some of the talent that is surrounding Julian, specifically in that wide receiver room. One of those guys is Carnell Tate, and here is Brian Hartline on him.
Carnell kind of turned the switch on his own. He's a self-driven individual, and I think he identified maybe when Emeka left that there was going to be a void from a potential void from a leadership standpoint. He just grabbed it by the wings and went with it. And so, the way he's grown, the way he operates now is significantly ahead of even last year. And he was already, more of a pro, more of an older soul. But I think he's just taken it to a whole other level. So between him and Brandon and Jeremiah and the other guys in the room, they're really stepping up from a communication standpoint and a standard standpoint and energy standpoint. They've done a really good job following the steps of Emeka, and I've been really impressed with Carnell's leadership qualities and how he's chosen to take that step. It'll be vital to have that all year.
We saw it last year. You saw the flashes, and they were more than flashes from Carnell, but you saw those moments where it was like, they got something opposite Jeremiah that's pretty legit. And now you heard Emeka mention a couple times in that quote. And for Carnell, like this is your opportunity to be a dude and show the NFL, I'm a first-round talent. Because I believe he is that. I truly believe that he is a first-round talent. He's got to put it all together this year, which I think he will. He's going to stumble into some situations, DT, as you know, to where they're going to be so worried about Jeremiah and what he does every single snap that Carnell's going to be facing the number 2 corner, number 3 corner, whatever that is. And I think he's going to cook. I really think so.
Do you think it's when you're working at such a high level, you grab something by the wings rather than anything else?
It's a new one for me.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me. Coach Hartline, I think I know what he wanted to say, but I'm a coach, right? I can't say those things publicly. That's a new one for me. I have
Dylan, I just want to let you know you are the wind beneath my horns.
I mean, you could go with you know what? You could go with horns, but hey, grabbing it by the wings, like you were flying high, working at just an elite level. If you're on the back of like an eagle, like you're in Lord of the Rings or something flying. But no, I know what you're saying, Maddie. Like Carnell Tate is going to find himself in some awesome positions this year. With that said, I don't see anything working on stopping Jeremiah Smith, no matter what you throw at him. And Max Clare is going to be a beneficiary of all this too. So that's another guy that I'm excited to see how he fits into the offense. I know you and I have talked about that before, how the tight end fits in to the Ohio State offense. But you got to feed everybody, and everybody is going to get fed because that's how it works at Ohio State, right?
You're so right. You're so right about that. And just like I think about an NFL team like the Detroit Lions, right? And your defensive coordinator having to prepare for so many different options with Amon-Ra and Laporta and Gibbs. And we know the cast of characters and J-Mo, right? Thank you. Like we know the cast of characters up there. That's what you want. And I think Ohio State can present that at the college level this year, especially because of what I think Max Clare can be. But the three receivers that they're going to have week in and week out, with Brandon Ennis being named a captain, and again, congrats to him on doing that. Those three guys, Tate, Ennis, Smith, are going to be balling. And then you have Max Clare that can be maybe a mismatch nightmare for certain teams and certain defenders, whether it's a linebacker or safety. Julian is in good hands. Like he really is. And if the offensive line protects him the way that we know that they need to, the playmakers are going to be open. He's just got to deliver.
And don't forget, there are wide receivers waiting in the wings, too. I feel like there's a guy or two every single year that he might not play as much, but he's going to flash in a game or two, and you're going to say, okay, this is the next guy up. Like, you think back to when that was Marvin Harrison Jr., and he was flashing in the Rose Bowl, and you're like, oh, baby, I can't wait to see what this looks like next year, and so on and so forth. It happens every season at Ohio State. So, and that was some of the stuff that Paul was talking about, too, right? Like, who are those guys that we don't know about yet? And that is, you're going to find it out quick, I feel like, starting off with a team like Texas, because some guys, it goes back to that. Remember Jamal Williams when the Lions were featured on Hard Knocks? You're either a puppy or you're a dog.
That's
and
it.
You're going to figure out who it is in that first game.
That's real. That is today's Buckeye Bulletin. Coming up, top of the hour. After an update, it's Tuesday. It's 2 o'clock. That means TLC takes over in Chet Roulette. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more. Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better. You've earned it.
On Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. New customers opt in and get a free lottery ticket. Download the app and start ordering lottery tickets today. Use code VOCAL. That's code VOCAL on Jackpocket. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 or older. Jackpocket is a lottery courier and not affiliated with the Ohio Lottery. Opt in for $5 in non-withdrawable lottery credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at jkpt.co/draw5.
Cash for Clunkers continues during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for Clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Tyler Danberg. The Cleveland Browns named 40-year-old Joe Flacco as their starting quarterback Monday. Would 22-year-old Flacco believe it?
I hope that he would believe it, yeah. If you told him, he'd probably be a little bit surprised that he's actually still playing at 40 years old. But I hope that he would believe it for sure.
Flacco's former team, the Indianapolis Colts, announced today that Daniel Jones will be their starting quarterback, beating Anthony Richardson. Baseball tonight, the Cincinnati Reds face the Los Angeles Angels at 9:38 in Anaheim. Reds ace Hunter Green starts against veteran Kyle Hendricks. Coverage on the Fan begins at 9:08. Cleveland Guardians duel with the Arizona Diamondbacks at 9:40 in Phoenix. Tanner Bybee pitches for the Guards against Eduardo Rodriguez. This Sports Center update is sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank. Breaking sports news on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, welcome back in. Final hour of the program on a Tuesday. Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports. He will join us at 2:30 to talk about some of the top college football players that are draft eligible for next year. So that'll be a fun conversation with him since college football season has arrived. It's week 0, man. We get it going on Saturday. So don't miss that. Also, in this hour, we will give away 2 passes to participate in the Big Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest Friday, August 29th at the O on Lane. The Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest, if you win that, you will get a pair of tickets to Ohio State in Texas. So grab your passes at 971thefan.com if you don't win the passes from us. So trivia will start at 1 p.m. on the 29th, and you have to get there by 12:30 for check-in. So last hour of the program, we will give that away at some point in time. We will get the chat roulette here in mere moments because it looks like there's some important stuff happening on his side of the glass. But it was funny because you texted myself and TLC yesterday, DeVere and I doing the show at AR's golf outing, and I was mentioning that some of the stuff I saw from the Bears, I'm absolutely in on. And then I had to say, hold up, player. Wait a minute. It's just the preseason. Bills are going out there with 2s and 3s and all of that. But that unit on offense, I think, will be fun. I like Ben Johnson. I think the way that they invested again on offense, both in free agency and the draft, is cool to see. In free agency, it was the offensive line. In the draft, I believe the first 2 picks were pass catchers, and Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. But the Bears will definitely be a squad, DT, your squad, that I want to catch more times than not because I think there's some intrigue there.
Yeah, they're Monday Night Football week 1. It's a division game, Monday Night Football against the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy's first career start. That'll be at Soldier Field, so a big one, an exciting one. I mean, the week 1 NFL slate in general, there are lots of underrated, sneaky good football games. I mean, we've been talking about week 1 in college football. Week 1 NFL, there's a lot of good stuff, starting out with the Thursday night game, then the Brazil game on Friday, and that Sunday is stacked up. I can't wait for it, and man, oh man, I am nervous for Monday Night Football.
To your point about some of the sneaky games, like sneaky for me, Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
Oh, that's a great one.
Right. What does Michael Penix look like? And that Falcons offense and Baker and the Bucs being the NFC South champs the last couple of years, like that will definitely be an interesting one. I'm with you. Like in the 4:25 window on that Sunday, you get Detroit at Green Bay. The nightcap is Baltimore and Buffalo, and then Monday night, as you mentioned, is Minnesota and the Bears. So, yeah, you nailed it, man.
Don't forget, TLC's got a big one, too. That's a Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers revenge game.
Basically a trade.
Yeah.
It really is. And Justin Fields hadn't looked great so far in the postseason. I know some people are looking at some of the stuff and like, okay, what are we going to get, when he puts the rock up in the air all the time. But in fantasy, Justin Fields, you get a very safe floor. In the real world, I don't know what we're going to be getting from him. I'm just being honest. And this is probably one of his last chances at being a dude in the NFL. So I think there's a lot of pressure there. But, yeah, you're right. There's going to be a ton of eyeballs on that game with Pittsburgh going into Gotham City and taking on the former Buckeye and Justin Fields.
I had to do something I didn't want to do. I had to be a little bit confrontational. I had to be like, hey, could this demonstration happen like literally any other time?
You know what?
Now?
It's funny. People probably hear you say that and don't think that that's true. With how spicy you can get sometimes with some of your takes that you don't like confrontation.
Oh, I'm so non-confrontational.
I'm shocked by that. He definitely seems like a guy that likes to get into it, especially after the tweet.
No, well, I was right about that. As evidenced by the 100,000 people who agree. Well, sorry. Hold on. Let me.
Fired.
Yeah. 100,000 people agreed with me, apparently. But I'm very non-confrontational. I do not handle that well. And so I had to be like, hey, Tyler, Reimer, I know you guys are like the 2 nicest people here. Can you please leave?
Gots to go.
Gotta go.
Gots to go. All
right. We got to perform an investigation.
Okay.
So we got to follow up from yesterday because there's some new information. We got plenty of audio from plenty of people. We got to get to the bottom of what went on with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, if there was anything that went on. Okay, so let's start with Exhibit A. This is the audio that was tweeted out by the NFL on their account, and then, Shefty put it out too, and all the aggregators kind of picked this up and shared it. This is just what was shared on the NFL's Twitter account.
It's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this mid-game, but, it's something that I'll get used to and just want to be the best team that I can and create an environment where we can all go do our best work. That's all we want to do.
Okay, so the interesting part about that is that, initially you hear entertainers, competitors, And, it's really kind of people telling on themselves when they just hear entertainers and they just think Shedeur Sanders. It's like, oh, you must be talking about Shedeur. Well, why do you think that? But when the part that's interesting is when he says, obviously, we're doing this mid-game. And it's like, well, what does he mean by that? And so that's the part where it's like that when he kind of defends himself at the back end after the game and says, oh, I was talking about the media. That part's kind of believable, but it's still kind of 50-50. We talked about it yesterday. Matty Ice said that, well, that could be an ode to, Dan Lanning and everything that went on there with Colorado. And Shannon Sharp also agreed with that. He was talking with Ocho on Nightcap.
I think he was taking a shot at Shedeur.
You think so?
When have we ever thought about the media, those beat writers as entertainers? We've heard his coach, he was on the team when he said they're celebs.
Wait, but you can't tie him and his coach together as if they have the same mind, as if they're one. You
Name the time you've ever heard someone say there are entertainers and there are competitors, and I'm here to compete. Tell me the time.
Just to be clear, sports radio hosts are entertainers. Beat writers, I don't know, because they have more like journalistic integrity than us. But we're entertainers. So I'll say that. But he did mention beat writers, so it's a little bit different. But he did say, and this is where he's wrong, he said he was on the team when his coach said that. No, he wasn't. Dylan Gabriel only played on Oregon in 2024 when Oregon was in the Big Ten and did not play Colorado. So I guess one could argue that maybe not Shedeur. Maybe Dylan Gabriel and Dan Lanning had a bunch of conversations about Shedeur Sanders behind the scenes, and this is really just Dan Lanning brainwashing him. I mean, you got to connect a million dots to get to that point.
I don't think you do. I'm with Shannon Sharp on this. I said it yesterday. I think it was a shot at Shedeur. Do I think it's the end of the world? I don't. Do I think we'll be talking about this in a couple of months? I don't. But when I heard that word used, I can't help but think that the guy that he's talking about is in his room because that's what Shedeur is known for. And so that's where I'm at with this, is that I do think he was taking a shot at Shedeur Sanders.
If he was doing that, it's hilarious. I'm going to walk this back. Might he just be talking about doing that interview in general? Like the way that he talked about it right there when he said, we're doing this mid-game, I got to get used to it. Like maybe he's not used to being an entertainer in the middle of a game like that, and he is a competitor. He's focused on football. Might he be talking about that? Is it that simple?
I hear that, but it's like we're in 2025, and he's at a point where he's used to doing so much media that I think you're used to having microphones and cameras in your face all the time. If we want to split the hairs of in-game interviews and non-in-game interviews, that's fine. But, yeah, I see it one way. And like I said, this is not going to be the end of the world. Shedeur probably won't make this a big deal at all when he's asked about it. But I would be lying if I said that I heard those comments and I did not think about Shedeur when I heard him away.
Well, here is, just to complete the circle on the Dan Lanning angle, here is what Shannon Sharp was referencing.
Rooted in substance, not flash, rooted in substance. Today, we talk with our pads. You talk with your helmet, right? Every moment. The Cinderella story is over, man. Right? They're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. There's a difference, right? There's a difference. Right? This game ain't going to be played in Hollywood. It's going to be played on the grass.
And to whom it may concern, Oregon won that game 56-7. Producers note. But we didn't have this yesterday before the show, but we have a new extended cut of that interview. So I told you the first one that I played is what the NFL put on their social media. By the way, they have since deleted that tweet, which makes me think that they intentionally threw Dylan Gabriel to the Wolves, because here is the extended cut.
You gave us some fabulous wisdom on how you tune out the noise and you don't let it infiltrate yourself. Will you share that with everybody at home?
Yeah, I think it's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this mid-game, but it's something that I'll get used to, and just want to be the best team that I can and create an environment where we can all go do our best work. That's all we want to do.
I'll let you go since you're calling me out on that.
So how do we feel now?
So I was kind of right. Kind of, right?
Yeah, with what you said.
Yeah.
My stance still stays the same.
Still say, even after the question?
Stance still stays the same.
The reporter next to him said, you're calling me out on that.
My stance stays the same.
You are digging your heels in for the radio. Come on.
No, I'm not. I truly believe what that was at the time was a shot at Shedeur.
Come on, man.
I don't know what you want me to tell you.
So when she asked the question about the noise and he used the word entertainers, you thought that he was considering Shedeur Sanders the noise?
Yeah. I think there's people that look at Shedeur and him being around as noise that can be a distraction for a team. Yeah, I can connect those dots.
There's also a show the Browns are doing about their quarterback battle, right? Like they've got something going on. Could that be part of the reference here too? Like
perhaps. Well, it could be anything.
I'm with you more so in that.
She asked about the noise around. Well, I guess just. But the question was probably about Shedeur. I don't know if his answer was. I don't think he said Shedeur is noisy. I think her question was about that. In fact, to be honest with you, Shedeur has been nothing but a good soldier ever since he got there.
Yeah.
Because he kind of had the whole embarrassing legendary draft.
That was tough.
Yeah, where the draft room,
was tough.
The draft room had legendary everywhere.
For
Then he
Mel
goes
Kiper.
fifth round. Oh, it was a legendary.
Mel Kiper was crashing out up there on the set. So, like I said, I think this will be in the wind.
Oh, of course.
Once we get to week one and Joe Flacco's out there doing his thing.
Then Joe Flacco will be the problem that
but for now,
going after.
Giving us some content. That's for sure. You want to give away 2 passes right now?
Yeah.
Let's give away 2 passes to Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest, which is taking place next Friday, August 29th at the O on Lane. Your chance to win tickets to Ohio State and Texas. 614-821-9710 is TLC's hotline number. Earlier in the show, speaking of trivia, I mentioned 2 things that have always been stuck in my brain when it comes to trivia. If you mention one of those things to TLC, you will get a chance to get on over to Ohio State and Texas when we have the Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest next Friday, at the O on Lane. Coming up next in Pre-Snap Reads, one team that was waiting to name a starting quarterback in the NFL for 2025 has now done so. We'll tell you who that team is next and who they selected after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with the team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days, deferred payment, interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit, expires 8/31.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Heading back to school, we are stronger together. Educators and parents on a mission to make sure our public school students have what they need to succeed. We are excited together, ready to make this the best school year yet. We are better together. I'm Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing, asking you to stand with OEA for the great public schools Ohio students deserve. We are stronger together this school year because public education matters.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heat and humidity, the center of our forecast today. This afternoon into the low 90s. However, we'll also see chances of showers and thunderstorms, some which could have heavy downpours and gusty winds. We'll see daytime highs in the low 90s, and then for tonight, overnight lows down into the 70s, with chances of showers and storms diminishing overnight. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, before we knock out some pre-snap reads on a Tuesday, TLC, did we have a prize winner?
We had Jason and Hilliard.
There it is. Jason, you the man. Jason, thanks so much for listening. Appreciate your time. And we will see you next week at the O-On Lane for the Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest. Folks, don't worry. If you are not the winner, we were going to do this every day going into Friday. So from now until Friday, we will give away a couple passes to participate in the big Buckeye Kickoff Trivia Contest. And again, Jason, just a reminder, you got to get there by 12:30 next Friday. So the Browns yesterday, DT, as you know, they come out. Flacco's the guy. He is the starter. And it's okay, we checked that box. I think a lot of us were anticipating between Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, one of those guys was going to be the starter against the Bengals here in a couple weeks. Another team that was waiting to name their starting quarterback for 2025 was the Indianapolis Colts. And we found out today that their starter, and they play the Miami Dolphins at home at 1 o'clock on the 7th, is going to be Danny Dimes. Dropping dimes. Daniel Jones, the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, DT. Before I give you the floor on this, TLC and I were hanging out before the show. And a guy that's been one of the legends around here for a long time is Bob Taylor. Bob Taylor voices a lot of the commercials here at the Fan. Coaster Bob, you may know him as that as well. He is a huge Colts fan. And so TLC and I are just chilling before the show, and we say, Bob, your team has announced who the starting quarterback is going to be. He says, who is it? And I say it's Daniel Jones. And TLC, what was his reaction?
Well, first he said, who's that? And then you said the Giants quarterback, and he goes, oh, really?
Oh, really? So that's the feel from one Colts fan, and I think, like, if I were a Colts fan, I would probably feel the same way.
Hey, Kevin O'Connell's the QB whisperer, right? Danny Dimes had a little cup of coffee in Minnesota last year. I'm being facetious about all this. If you're a Colts fan, I feel like you're in bad shape right now because you spent a top 5 pick on Anthony Richardson just a couple of seasons ago. And for him to not start the year as the starting quarterback, I think tells me a lot. Because if you're the Colts, if you're Shane Steichen, who, by the way, I think might have the hottest seat in the NFL. It's a guy that I think when I was on the show about a month ago with you guys, we had kind of forgotten about in terms of the hot seat. But Shane Steichen's seat is hot. Wouldn't you want to see for sure what you've got in Anthony Richardson? If that was the case, you would start the season and you'd say, okay, our fallback option is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is starting right now, so I think they've seen enough.
I think they have. And
that's problematic.
For me, Anthony Richardson was put on notice the minute or the second Daniel Jones signed a 1-year deal that was worth up to $17 million. If you believe you have your quarterback one in-house already, you're not spending that type of coin to go get another quarterback. Now, on the scale of quarterback money around the NFL, that's nothing. That's small things to a giant. $17 million. When we've got guys making $60 and $55 million a year, but that's a pretty decent investment in, at the time, what was your backup quarterback or what you thought would be your backup quarterback. And so this is bad news for Anthony Richardson. They took a bet on the traits because that's what it was. The sample size was so small during his time, both in high school, in Florida. Games played was very low. Time on task was not good enough to be selected where he was selected, but I could see why or how they got blinded by the sex appeal of his game. Because when you see Anthony Richardson on the right day, you're like, man, that's like top 5 skill set in the league, what he has. He has just never been able to put it together consistently. And then you start the offseason with some injuries and all those things. And now here you are holding a clipboard, at least for the first few weeks of the season. And we shall see if it extends beyond that.
Well, do you remember the hype behind this guy just a couple of years ago? He started 4 games his first year. He went 2-2, but people felt like they were seeing something from Anthony Richardson. He had 4 touchdowns on the ground, 3 through the air, just 1 pick. Fumbled the football 3 times, which isn't great. And he gets hurt after that. So you're like, okay. And again, it was some of those unknowns coming back next year. People were still excited about Anthony Richardson, but was he going to be able to stay healthy? That's a big concern about his game, just the way he runs the football and takes hits, right?
Yep.
And last year, it was just ugly for him. Completion percentage below 50%, which is never good. He was turning the football over too much. I think he had 9 fumbles last year. I might have that wrong. He might have had 8 fumbles last year, but regardless, it's way too many. No, 9 fumbles last season, 12 picks. It's just way too much in only 11 games.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy because, like you said, it's such an exciting talent. There's so much in there, but man, oh man, it just to get beat out by Danny Dimes. Like, oh my, is this the most dire quarterback room in the NFL?
Boy, that's a good question, DT. Is this the most dire quarterback room in the NFL?
Because like the Browns, at least you've got some hope in there.
I would throw New Orleans in this conversation.
Yep.
And I think those are probably the 3 teams where the outlook is pretty bleak right now at quarterback. Colts, Browns, Saints. We forgetting anybody else where it's tough? Like I think like Seattle, the Raiders, you got some vets that are going to
The Giants isn't great, but you've got Jackson Dart and you've got some veterans in there.
Right. But you got anybody else, TLC?
Nothing that comes to mind.
Yeah,
I mean, the Jets ain't great.
Thank you.
It's not. That's a good call.
Yeah.
It's not.
I would honestly say the Steelers because I'm just assuming that Aaron Rodgers is a 1-year deal. And so I am anticipating that we just do the same thing over and over again next year is, okay, where do we go?
Right. That's a good call as well. And I remember you mentioned Anthony Richardson, his completion percentage from last year. I remember when TLC would fill in for CB because CB would go on the road for some of the away games with Paul in the game. And we would do overs and unders. And he would put Anthony Richardson in there a few times. And the completion percentage would be like, dude, 48.5. And you had to do it because it was that bad.
And he was always short.
Yeah.
I would put the over-under on completion percentage. I started at like 60, then I dropped to 55, then I dropped to 50, and he kept falling short of the threshold.
You guys remember that Packers-Colts game early last year when it was Malik Willis getting schemed up by Matt LaFleur, and everybody was all over the Colts, and Malik Willis and the Packers beat him?
I do remember that, yes. I think what this speaks to, that being the Colts quarterback situation right now, is that when you lose a guy or when you have a guy that either retires or moves on the way that Andrew Luck did, it can be very, very hard to get back to a respectable level at that position. I mean, Andrew Luck shockingly retires, I believe, prior to the 2019 season, somewhere around there, whatever that was. And since then, DT, we're talking Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Gardner Minshew, Brian Hoyer. These are the names that they have been throwing out there to start games for them. And so they have just been, Joe Flacco, an irrelevant franchise because of that position, and that's how important it is. So when you take that swing the way that they did to draft Anthony Richardson, it is a massive risk, and it can send you as a franchise spiraling in the worst way, that way that it has for the Colts for a handful of years.
Well, the way that it worked out, if you remember how all this shook out, it was a risk to take Anthony Richardson. Will Levis was a guy in that range. I think Will Levis was the next quarterback taken, and that was all the way in the second
34,
round.
I think.
It hasn't worked out for Will Levis. Like the quarterbacks after Anthony Richardson have not worked out great, but you look at some of the players taken right after Anthony Richardson in that draft. Devin Witherspoon, good cornerback for Seattle.
Yeah.
Paris Johnson, good offensive lineman for the Cardinals. You've got Bijan Robinson, Jalen Carter, Jahmyr Gibbs, a lot of names on this list where you're like, man, oh man, we could have made this football team.
Your boy Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright. I skipped over him because nobody cares. But
hey,
on this show, we love offensive linemen.
Christian Gonzalez, he was taken at
He's a beast at corner.
There are a lot of guys on this list where you're like, man, Colts, could have been better.
Christian Gonzalez, Oregon product, correct? Do I have that right? Top of my head?
Yes.
Oregon product.
He went Colorado, then transferred to Oregon.
He can go. He and Carlton Davis are going to form a nice tandem for New England this year. But no, you can talk offensive line play all you want, because TLC and I, we love it, and if you don't have it...
Look, Saquon Barkley can't block for himself.
There you go.
He can get 2,200 yards, but you know what? When the guys up front are doing it for him, that you kind of need him.
You hear him getting his Giselle bag right there?
Yeah, I did.
Remember when she said that? What did she say? Tom Brady can't throw and catch to himself. Do you remember when she made those comments?
I forgot. I do remember when Jim Irsay tweeted out the day before day 2 of the draft. He's like, hey, Colts Nation, should we draft Will Levis too? That didn't go over well.
Best thing about Will Levis's career so far to this point is his mayonnaise endorsements that he got. That commercial played way too much last year. Like, it got to a point to where he wasn't even the guy anymore, and he was playing so bad the commercial was still running. I was like, this is embarrassing.
He had mayonnaise cologne at one point.
He did.
My buddy has it. He's a Titans diehard. He got the cologne.
Your boy's a sick.
The best QB commercials were those in the home with Baker commercials at the Brown Stadium.
Well, Baker's back now. He's got an endorsement with Popeyes I've seen over the last few days. So
good for Baker, man.
Yeah,
he's back in more ways than one.
He's out there getting the bag, man. Good for him. Coming up in 2 minutes, Joe DeLeon from A to Z Sports will join us to talk about some of the top NFL draft eligible prospects we'll be watching on Saturdays this year. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
The roof of your home protects what matters most in your life. Your family, your memories, your peace of mind. So when it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy on why she chose Newman Roofing over all the rest.
We had interviewed and talked with several other roofing companies around the city. The salesperson that came to speak with us was extremely knowledgeable, answered questions, took his time with us. We were happy to make Newman our choice.
And you'll have peace of mind knowing that on the day of the installation, we'll give you and your home the respect it deserves.
The guys arrived right on time. The crew leader came and talked with us, let us know what they were going to be doing. He was here all day with the crew. That itself was very impressive.
If you're thinking about your roofing or siding, give Newman Roofing a call today.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Keep your summer fun going at Toyota's National Sales Event. Now through September 2nd, get 1.99 APR financing on a powerful new 25 Tundra or $3,000 customer cash. Excludes TRD Pro. Or you can lease a new well-equipped 25 Tundra SR Crew Max for just $419 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
On Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. New customers opt in and get a free lottery ticket. Download the app and start ordering lottery tickets today. Use code VOCAL. That's code VOCAL on Jackpocket. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 or older. Jackpocket is a lottery courier and not affiliated with the Ohio Lottery. Opt in for $5 in non-withdrawable lottery credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at jkpt.co/draw5.
Rothman Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Now you can watch Rothman and Ice.
Go to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan.
Rothman is wearing the pancake makeup, so you might as well watch. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back in. Going to light up the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Bring on one of our favorites. Joe DeLeon does an awesome job covering college football and the NFL draft over at A to Z Sports. Joe, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, we're days away from the first college football game this Saturday. I couldn't be doing better. This has been the best week. Nothing can faze me. It is 12 o'clock on Saturday. We get to see Kansas State play Iowa State.
Yeah, it's time to cook. It's time to cook. Cannot wait to get to Saturday, and then obviously next Saturday we'll be off the chain. Let's talk Ohio State and Texas and some of the draft prospects that are out there that are going to be eligible. Of the draft prospects that are eligible for next year's team, next year's draft, between Ohio State and Texas, who is the top guy, the top prospect on Joe DeLeon's list?
Yeah, I think that the top guy in this battle between these two teams right now, it is for me Anthony Hill Jr. And I think that he and Carnell Tate have very similar grades for projecting for this upcoming draft for me as like late first-round guys that have a lot of potential to rise. I think that Anthony Hill is this freakish, explosive athlete who was starting to come into his own as a linebacker. After his first year at Texas, he was basically just a missile that was asked to chase after quarterbacks. I think it's going to be another step forward for him because he's just so tremendously fast, has great acceleration, comes downhill hard, doesn't hesitate. Carnell Tate on the Ohio State side, though, it's crazy that we're in another situation where there's just another premier draft prospect in this wide receiver room that we're used to seeing. He is reliable. He is smooth. I'd like to see him be a little bit more consistent with some of the catches that he makes because he had a couple of drops and some frustrating spots last year, as Ohio State fans know. But the ability for him to manipulate defenders with his route running, I think is so promising for him to be an 1,000-yard guy this year for Ohio State. And then I'll throw in one more. I really like Sonny Styles. I think that Sonny Styles at linebacker for Ohio State is that new style of NFL linebacker that these NFL teams want, where it's a former safety, he can cover a lot of ground, and he's not afraid to come down and knock your block off. He is that type of guy that you know he's going to make a play because he can fly all over the field. So all three of those guys are at the top of my attention.
Joe, where are you at with Max Clare and his transfer to Ohio State? You know, the tight end position doesn't traditionally produce a whole lot in this offense just because there are so many weapons, but people are very high on Clare as far as it goes with the upcoming draft.
I really think that Clare is going to change that trend that you just mentioned. Right now, he is my number one rated tight end coming into the college football season for the 2026 draft. And he had nobody good throwing to him. He was in a very wonky, unsuccessful offense at Purdue. But this is a player who reminds me a lot of Zach Ertz, who is a strong route runner. He's smooth in and out of his breaks. And he's the type of guy that's creative and explosive after the catch, that he is going to threaten any defense when he's given a little bit of space. I think this upcoming year, when there's going to be so much attention put on covering Jeremiah Smith, and even if Carnell Tate and Brandon Inniss step up and they end up being really good players, with a little bit of uncertainty on how good the running back room is going to be, I think a guy like Blair is going to be just such a easy, consistent dump-off threat for Julian Sayin, because that's what he was doing last year at Purdue with not a lot of consistency at quarterback.
So we'll kick off next Saturday with Ohio State and Texas, which will be awesome. The nightcap will be Clemson and LSU. So I want to ask you about Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier, and who you believe has the best, I guess, higher ceiling when it comes to NFL ball. Like Cade Klubnik's been around for a while, as you know, same thing for Garrett Nussmeier. But when you try to forecast what these guys can be in the NFL, who do you believe in a little bit more?
I believe in Cade Klubnik a little bit more, and I think that for some reason, there's been a lot of disrespect dished to Cade Klubnik by those trying to downplay his accomplishments over the past few seasons. When I look at a quarterback, I want to see year-by-year gradual improvement. I saw from him as a true freshman from 2023 and then this past year in 2024, him limit the amount of turnovers that he had, improve his overall statistics, limit the amount of mistakes that he had. He wasn't perfect, but to show this progression and getting better every single year and having the tools of being a former five-star quarterback, I think that sets him up for what could be a really special season this year at Clemson. I think the biggest part about all this, the two additional green flags outside of him getting better every single season, is his third year with Garrett Riley calling the plays. That is so huge for him in having that consistency. Changing coordinators is brutal. We literally see this with Garrett Nussmeier having to transition to Joe Sloan this past year. But he also has three very talented wide receivers that were coming into their own. And I think that Bryant Wesco and Antonio Williams will have big seasons in this Clemson offense. I think it's going to be night and day from how inconsistent they were last year, but showed us flashes. I believe in Cade Klubnik. I think Garrett Nussmeier has potential, but I think Cade Klubnik a little bit better of an athlete and has shown more tangible progressions year over year.
Drew Aller is a name that we hear a lot about, obviously, in Columbus. Penn State, there are high expectations. Where are you at with him as a draft-eligible quarterback?
I think that he is tremendously gifted, and I think that he checks all those boxes that we look for, just a big, strong, powerful, also athletic, deceptively athletic quarterback prospect. He's kind of got a little bit of Ben Roethlisberger to his build and the way that he plays, and he's hard to take down. But I need to see more from him as a decision maker in late game situations, and more importantly, I need to see him play better against their most difficult opponents. If we separate the games that he's had against the middle to the back end of the Big Ten, and we look at the way that he played against the likes of Oregon and Notre Dame and Ohio State and even USC, which had a pretty mediocre secondary last year, he made a lot of mistakes. He was, at times, a liability for them. And I know that the receiver room was not great, but he still had two of the best running backs in the country and the best tight end in college football. And he's still making silly, silly mistakes as a decision maker. He has gotten better, and this is a guy who, when he came into college football, was really raw. A lot of people forget that this is a guy that's not a natural thrower of the football. It's been just a process of him being a three-star recruit to where he was as a five-star and then stepping in at Penn State. He has improved tremendously. I think there's room for him to get better, but he's got to show it to me before I can buy into him of being a first overall pick type of a prospect as some have billed him.
Joe, it seems that the NFL is back on board with taking running backs in the first round, relatively early in the draft. When you look at this crop of running backs that are draft eligible for next year, the Jeremiah Loves of the world, I believe he's eligible up there at Notre Dame, and I know a lot of people like him. So Jeremiah Love and maybe another running back that you look at that you think could, warrant a first-round pick next year. Who is that guy or guys for you?
Well, to bring back to that point that you led this in with, we're seeing this trend increase, but more importantly, the NFL is not afraid to take those swings at running backs when they're special players. And I really think that Jeremiah Love is a truly special player. He reminds me a lot of Darren McFadden in the really ease of the way that he gets in and out of his cuts and the way that he accelerates in an instant, but also the willingness to grind through power and to run through tacklers. He's not going to try and run you over, but he's got these strong legs, a really strong lower body that he will churn through contact. We saw that in the Penn State game with that crucial touchdown that he was able to have. This is a guy who in the NFL in the right offense, and a lot of the teams the two teams rather that he keeps getting projected to, the Bears and the Cowboys, will be perfect for this. If he goes in the right system with a little bit of an established understanding of the quarterbacks and the receivers, he could be a 1,500-yard guy in the NFL. I think that the other guy who could go in the first round, but he's not my RB2, is Nick Singleton, purely because from a height, weight, speed combination and just encompassing build for a player, he checks all those boxes for somebody at like pick 30 to come back in and be like, oh, we just want to get our bell cow, our guy that we can give the ball to 20, give him the ball 20 times a game, and he's just going to pick up 100 yards as often as we can get him to rock. So I think that Singleton's in the mix. I would just like to add, I love Jamal Haynes from Georgia Tech. I think that if he stays healthy this year, he's going to do some special things because he can accelerate in an instant, and he will gash anybody if he's given a little bit of space.
Okay. It's great stuff, Joe. As always, my man, we appreciate your time, and I'm sure we will talk to you in the coming weeks as football is finally here. So thanks, Joe.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's Joe DeLeon from A to Z Sports, does an awesome job covering college football and the NFL draft. We will hit the finish line of the show next. We'll tell the truth. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you. The meatloaf! The Fan.
When was the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without having to take your time? You thought to yourself, I'll just tough it out. But nothing changes. Hi, it's Tyvis Powell. It's time to call and schedule that free consultation with Dr. Walkoff and his team at QC Kinetics here in Columbus. I'm glad I did. Myself and others have turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies. No scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. Check it out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. Bring your x-rays and MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free, no-pressure chat and thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. Has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Other stations in town have started using AI voices. It's because they're cheap and they think you're stupid. Well, we may think you're stupid, but we don't think you're cheap, damn it. We're live and local with real people. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination. Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, I've been thinking. You came up with a new invention? No, I've been pondering a problem. Is it anything I can help you with? I'm not sure. Tell me. I've been thinking about our scuba diving plumbers.
Get Eco.
ECO. They dive right in and fix the problem.
That's the problem.
You lost me.
The problem with being extremely good at something is that you make it look easy.
You're worried that people think plumbing is easy?
Well, our extremely very good plumbers sure make it look easy.
Get Eco.
ECO. Don't worry, Jerry. Sooner or later, most people try to fix their own plumbing problem.
I can testify to that.
Jerry, did you try to fix it yourself?
Yeah.
Don't give it another thought, buddy. I'll send somebody over right now.
Get Eco.
ECO.
You're a real friend, Aaron.
Eco Scuba Diving Plumbers, Genius Electricians, and you can always trust our HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and the deals are hot. Lease the rugged 25 Honda Ridgeline Sport for just $339 a month, or finance with an unbeatable 0.99% APR. Or drive home in the new 25 Honda Prologue EX. Lease it now for only $149 a month, or 0% APR, plus no payments for 90 days. Get the deal you deserve at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Get 50% off all window styles, plus no interest until 2030. Visit windownation.com now.
All right, TLC. It's your time to shine, big dog. What do you got cooked up and tell the truth today?
All right, so I'm dead serious about this whole batting practice tour that I want the three of us to go on around Central Ohio. So our first candidate was Thomas Worthington.
Yeah.
Because they got the left field fence. It's pretty short. It's like a mini green monster. It's not that tall, but it's pretty short.
Yeah.
And so someone messaged us and said, hey, they're renovating their field right now. They're putting in a bunch of turf. And so that person said that he couldn't guarantee that the entire outline of the field was going to change too. So we got to figure out what's going on at Thomas Worthington.
I'll get on that for you.
Thank you.
I'll get over there later
neck
today.
of the woods. And then I was thinking of another option or two that we could come up with. I remember playing at Bishop Watterson. It's a little bit of a Polo Grounds outline where, like, straight down the line to left field's like 275, but left center's like 400 feet. So if we can just you can hit the school. It's right there. You can bang one off the bricks. That feels like a drop, but I don't know. But Bishop Watterson's an option. And then I've never seen it, but the internet and doing the research, people are saying that Bishop Hartley has got like a crazy close left center field. It's got a tall fence.
Yeah, they do. It's like I've been over there before because it's right next to their football field. It's kind of a small confines outfield. Yeah, because they got like I think a gym or part of the school backs right up to left center.
Yeah, and so
they do have a high wall, but it's very odd. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in on this.
All right.
Experience
next summer.
Experiment.
We got all right-handed bats in this room.
Yes.
All right, that plays for
all
us.
righties in here. I will hit up my boys, Coach Thomas and Coach Turnbull over at Pick North. I'm sure they would let us in the gates, or I'll just climb the fence and, we'll do it that way. But I'll try to get permission first. So we'll put Pick North on the list too.
All right. Next summer, we're going on our batting practice tour, seeing how many stadiums we can hit home runs in Central Ohio.
Down.
All right, let's stick with the baseball theme. They had what are they calling? Like the Little League Classic or whatever. Yep. Mets Mariners. So the big leaguers were in Williamsport. Rob Manfred was there, and he had an interesting conversation about the future of the alignment.
In my mind, I think if we expand, it provides us with an opportunity to geographically realign. I think we could save a lot of wear and tear on our players in terms of travel. And I think our postseason format would be even more appealing for, entities like ESPN, because you'd be playing up out of the East, out of the West, and that 10 o'clock time slot where we, sometimes get Boston, Anaheim, would be two West Coast teams, and that 10 o'clock slot that's a problem for us sometimes becomes a real opportunity for our West Coast audience.
Okay, so it was a little bit busy out there, a lot of kids yelling, it's a Little League game. But basically what he said, he didn't say this exactly, my interpretation. MLB's end goal is Eastern Conference, Western Conference.
I'm not mad at this. I'm not. Like, if you want to take the Mets and put them in the same division or conference as the Yankees, like for me, both New York teams, one being in the AL and NL, geographically is odd for me. Put Philly in the same side of things as well. I don't think the sport needs it, but I can understand some of the things that he's saying, especially when it comes to the wear and tear on the players. And I'm always in favor of, if they think that being whatever league it is, that this is going to do good for the players, and anything after that will lead to a good product because the players are feeling good. I'm here for it. But DT, I don't think the sport needs it.
I'm with you in saying that I don't think anybody is clamoring for this. I understand it from the baseball purist perspective, and I used to be quite a bit of a baseball purist. I didn't like change and that sort of stuff, but making the sport even more regional than it is, I don't mind that. I think it promotes rivalry. I think it promotes intriguing playoffs. But the big thing for me is not enticing TV stuff for ESPN, like he said. I don't care about that. I think we're too fixated on that right now. We talk about it a lot with college football in the playoff. What entices me is getting rid of those late starts for your own market, right? I think that's huge for growing baseball and making people more interested in the games. If I can watch, every Guardians game or every Reds game at 7 o'clock, and I don't need to stay up late to watch them play on the West Coast, I think that is huge. And on the other side of things, if you're a fan of some of those West Coast teams that are, say you're an Oakland A's diehard or a Giants diehard or a Dodgers diehard, anything out there, and they're playing in New York City or they're playing in Cleveland and the game starts at 7, you're still at work when that game starts, So I think it's a little bit better from a viewer's perspective. I get the people that don't like it, but I'm kind of coming off of that hill, and I'm for change in sports. I think it's interesting.
The word for Florida all day has been be aggressive.
That's 2 words. Yesterday was National Pinot Noir Day.
I love Pinot Noir.
Are you a drinking snob?
Yes, I love wine.
Oh, my God.
I love wine.
You got the pinky up, too, when you're sipping your wine? You're that type of bougie?
Do you
not the pinky.
Around?
Yeah, I do the swirl around, get your nose in there. I'm a huge wine guy. My parents live in wine country. There's
a fire the gong for that right there.
Bam.
That's a flex. No, I am not a
Miracosta.
That's not wine country. They moved.
I'm cool with wine. I am. I just don't know enough about it. I really don't.
Let's get you over to the crib. I'll teach you a thing or two.
Yeah, have me over there. I'm in on that. I'm not a snob, no, by any means, TLC.
CTE has been going crazy this year.
Thank you, Antonio Brown. And thank you, TLC, for Tell the Truth today. DT, thank you.
Thanks for having
your
me.
time. Folks, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. Who's coming up? Oh, Timmy Hall is in today, and Adam King is joining him from 3 to 6. So don't move.
I bet he's a drinking snob.
He definitely is that. We will be back tomorrow at high noon. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Hey, guys, it's Timmy Hall, and I want to talk to you about the roof over your head. You know that thing that protects your house and everything in it? It's pretty important, and a lot of you are going to have to replace it soon, but be warned. There are companies out there that skip over the biggest part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if that attic doesn't have proper circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and rot. You got rot. And not to mention leaks in the wintertime and higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I'm telling you about my guys at Victor's Home Solutions. They start with a free 21-point roof inspection, including a thorough inspection of that attic as well. They know that if that ventilation isn't right, that roof's going to be built on a shaky foundation. That's why every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are also available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and get that estimate today. 866-VICTORS or go to victors.com.
Jump on board now with the 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Drop 20 pounds before summer ends and cruise into fall with a new routine of better health. Do what I did and find your results with the solution for weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways. From overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. The kitchen drain has had enough. The toilet's called it quits. Drains are clogged throughout the house. I'm gonna throw a fit.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Hitting for the cycle, a single, double, triple, and home run all in the same game is one of the rarest of batting feats. Only 5 Reds have done it since 1900, and one of those cycles dates to this August 19, 1911. Reds outfielder Mike Mitchell hit for the cycle against the New York Giants, and he accomplished it against some long odds. For starting for the Giants that day was Christy Mathewson, the great Hall of Fame pitcher who had defeated the Reds over 22 straight starts. Now, Mike Mitchell isn't probably someone you've ever heard of, but he was the Reds starting right fielder for 6 seasons and a pretty solid hitter. And he certainly proved it by hitting for the cycle this August 19, 1911 against the great Christy Mathewson, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing